Hello, hello, hello there, and welcome back to Death Before Dishonour number 4. Now, hopefully you guys are seeing this stream. I'm praying. We've had so many internet connection problems. My blue screen of death and all sorts of nasty stuff have been popping up. But looks like we are good to go. And we've got our first competitors in here, which is going to be the Sly and Sneaky
Hello
Seal
there, and welcome back
to Death. Oh, just stop that little bit of reverb there. And we'll wait to get a few people in, and we will get started. So we have had a few dropouts late on, so the matchup has changed around quite a bit, but it looks like we do have Sly and Sneaky Seal up in round 1 against Croissant Talbot, who is a returning player. And in round 2 we have Council of Rome, who is a finalist before in our first ever Death Before Dishonour, up against Wershire, who's making his debut here today. I'm very excited to see them all play it. So let's get in, see how these guys are doing. You guys can build them. I am going to add on a thing. There we go. So, it looks like we're going to have Lizmen up against Chaos, which is a nice fun matchup. And I believe these guys have done a gentleman's agreement. I'm trying to get the microphone a little bit louder there, Worship. It's a bit of a problem. I'm having to get a new one. Hopefully this is a bit better for you now. I have brought down the sound in-game as well, so hopefully that will help. Let me know if it's still too quiet, though, and I can play around with it a little bit more. Good to see you, though, man. You're going to be up in round 2. Excited to see you play. And I'm just going to make sure everything is all good on the Discord to make sure there's no more questions, and we can get this absolutely crack-a-lacking. Cool, so it looks like we are all good, I believe. Looks like the stream is up. Welcome, welcome, guys. Please do drop that little like and spread this out with your friends as well. And massive thank you as well to Sly Sneaky Seal, who has popped in quite late into the process to join in after we had a dropout, and then unfortunately our backup also had to go to hospital, which is, rather worrying. But they're all back now. Now the winner of this event is going to be the champion, but that means two things. One, they get the honour of being a glorious champion, but number 2, they're going to be placed into a Champions Royal Rumble up against Ben the Barman, Zach B. Sane, and Felcon, who are our previous champions, to decide once and for all who is the ultimate Death Before Dishonour champion, which should be good fun. Looks like they are just going to be building their builds now, so we'll give them a bit of time and let you guys join in. Looks like we do have 5 people watching now. What's up, guys? They will slowly build as it goes along. Now, we'll need to remember to remove the screen blocker and change maps. So if you guys in chat want to just yell at me between rounds, I'm very happy for that to happen. I will be a little bit slow at replying as I do not have 2 monitors at the second. So I do have to look at my phone to look at chat, and there is a delay to stop any screen sniping, any of that type of stuff. Which wouldn't really happen anyway, but there's naturally a bit of a lag in the stream, so it'll take me a little while to get to replies. Sweet, I will let them know they can start when ready. So I have also upped the quality of the stream, so hopefully it is looking all good to you guys. Ah, Kolek the God. Well, you're playing, man. You can bring Kolek. You can do what you want. What's up, LM? How's it going, man? I believe that is Council of Rome who's going to be playing. Wants to see Sneaky Seal get his butt kicked, apparently. Bit of fighting talk there. You are worried that you can't take him in the final, my friend? So after this tournament and the grand finals, which hopefully, well, one of these guys will be participating in, we're going to start up a novice league as well for brand new players who haven't played in tournaments before. Alongside, and still another quite competitive tournament, of good versus evil. So we're going to have 2 teams, one of the forces of order, so of course Wood Elves, Empire and so forth, up against the forces of Chaos and Norska. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it yet, but it looks like these guys are good to go. So we're going to jump into the first battle. Let's do this. So unfortunately, most of the day I've been having problems with blue screen of death, which for those of you who don't know means your computer crashes, big sad face pops up. So if that does happen at any point during the stream, it looks like we have managed to stabilize the computer for now. But if it does happen, these guys are going to send in replays and this whole tournament will be cast tomorrow. But fingers crossed, I much more enjoy having these live, so fingers crossed it holds. I'm praying. So how's everyone doing today? And who is your money on? They've got the Sly and Sneaky Seal, who I believe this is his first tournament, up against Croissant Talbot. So let's have a little look at the Sly and Sneaky Seals army first. I'm loving the big dinosaurs already. So he's gone quite hardcore with some Temple Guard mixed in with Saurus Warriors along the front line. 2 units of Temple Guard, one being the Star Chamber Guardians. Possibly my favourite faction overall, definitely most thematic faction. They have Guardian, which is a nice little 15% physical resistance to lords and heroes nearby, and they just kick a ton of butt in general. Looks like he does have a Feral Carnosaur as well for a bit of added punch. And Lord Mazdamundi, I believe this is the first time we've seen the Fat Toad Master himself, the Lovecraftian beast he is, in the tournament. So should be good fun. He has his Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Curse of Midnight Wind, Net of Amantok. So should be good overall. Please say he's... No, he hasn't brought... No, he hasn't brought Ruination of Cities. That's very upsetting. And also, I believe I did see someone flying in the sky. Where are you? Over here. We do have a Skink Chief as well. Up flying in the sky, and a rear attack coming in for some Pterodon Riders. I very much like this. He's living up to his name here, being very sly and sneaky. Now for Croissant, he has gone for Marauder Horsemen, throwing axes in the front, or at least one normal, 2 throwing axes. Very good pick, good at dealing with those large dinosaurs. On the flank here, he has Chaos Knights. Looks like they're protecting some Chaos Warhounds. I like this synergy very much. It stops the Warhounds just getting pwned by like dinosaurs or stuff if they get caught out of position. A front line of Chaos Marauders mixed in with Mirror Guard and Chaos Warriors. Nice mix and match. And it looks like someone got their wish. We do, in fact, have Kolek Suneater, the man, the myth, the legend, leading the forces today. Big nasty monster, anti-large, cause of terror, all that kind of good stuff. And a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal. Looks like he's just brought 2 spells, Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust. And that looks pretty much like it. There is another unit of Chaos Knights on the other flank as well. And the battle is underway. So who is your money on? Who do you want to see go to the final? With some early harass coming in from these Pterodon Riders. I'm not sure how much damage they're going to do. They don't have the best armor piercing, but they do poison and slow people down. So both forces are moving forward. We are, of course, using the Warhammer Cup rules, so both players must always be attacking. But let's see how this goes. It's going to be very interested to see how these Marauders and stuff deal with Saurosaurs, who are quite elite. Especially mixed with the Temple Guard and Big Lord Mazdamundi. So it looks like there's a ton of flank pressure coming over this side, but the front lines have engaged. Let's pop down there. Mirror Guard going up against Saurus Warriors, and the Mirror Guard should have that quite comfortably. But Big Lord Mazdamundi does drop a big shield of the old ones, which will really help, and he can just walk up and down here pretty unimpeded right now. Big flank coming in from these Chaos Knights and Warhounds, but they are charging into Temple Guard, which is not where they want to be, especially these Knights. But it looks like a Plague of Rust does come down. Fantastic play, using the Poison Hounds to poison as well. Lovely charge coming in. Very nice synergy right there. Looks like big old Kolek is just chilling at the moment at the back. I'd like to see him getting in a bit of action, as some of his units are getting a little bit wrecked. Chaos Warhounds over here got netted and just destroyed by Temple Guard, as you'd expect. Plus, it looks like some of these Marauder Horsemen somehow get caught in combat, which is quite upsetting. Hit with a banishment as well, and they are all routing off the field. So that is very worrying. Up in the skies, the Pterodon Riders, 4 kills and 0 apiece. They're doing a bit of harass. They should really probably hop into combat on these Marauder Horsemen and try and chase them off there. Now, Temple Guard have taken an absolute battering, but they did manage to fend off those units. But lovely rear charge coming in here. Chaos Knights not wanting to stick into that combat. Good micro, bring them into the back line here, crushing down on those Saurus Warriors and really helping, hopefully, break them down. The middle Mirror Guard are making decent work of Saurus Warriors, not quite as quickly as ours like. And we do have Mazdamundi in there, who's managed to single out this Chaos Sorcerer, and he will destroy this guy if he hits. But Kolek is getting in there, hitting Mazdamundi from behind, which does half his melee defense, so he will go down very quickly. But in return, he's had Curse of Midnight Wind popped on him, and a very angry Feral Carnosaur nipping at his heel, so he is having to get out there. And the power balance does swoop in favour of the Lizardmen, which is nice to see. I am a big Lizardman fan, for all of those who don't know. I've just realised, no, the screen blocker is active. Sorry, guys. I just looked at the at the chat finally. Oh, disaster there. But hopefully my brilliant commentating has helped you guys realise what is going on. But you should be able to see fully now the madness that is unfolding. Mazdamundi is running around fairly healthy right now. Doesn't want to stick too long in combat, but if he just bounces around between different forces, he should be fine. Very beleaguered Temple Guard are hopping in there, but it looks like it could just be the Carnosaur and Mazdamundi, which may be able to carry this battle. We do have Saurus Warriors and fairly healthy Star Chamber Guardians, very healthy in fact, rushing through these Chaos Marauders, and they're going to be a pain to deal with. These Pterodon Riders, I really like to see them hunting down units. Looks like they are in fact hunting down this Chaos Sorcerer in the distance, which is fantastic play. And that Carnosaur, he is on the hunt for a fat slab of Kolek. So he's going to be getting in there, munching him down, and Kolek turns to fight. He might as well, but he's going to be round off the field, and I think that's going to be game. Power balance is pushed now very heavily in favour of the Lizardmen, and it's going to be army losses as soon as this pocket breaks. I mean, they're going to beat these Temple Guard and Saurus Warriors, but Mazdamundi lurking around. Everywhere else, Chaos are kind of fleeing. Their leadership is going, and Kolek is going to be chased off the field by that rather hungry Carnosaur there. Looks like we have another banishment coming in here. Let's see how much damage it does. Decent amount of damage to those Chaos Knights. Not obviously the ideal target. It looks like I actually might get a bit of friendly fire on those Saurus Warriors, but nevertheless, everywhere else across the battlefield, Lizardmen are winning. We have Star Chamber Guardians who've managed to caught these Chaos Knights who need to turn around and run. You guys need to get out of there, but no, looks like they are going to break and in fact shatter, and that is going to be game one to the newcomer, the Sly and Sneaky Seal. So apologise about the shot blocker there, guys, but it is all sorted now. Cheers, guys. Sorry about the blocker. Thank you for popping up and letting me know. And what's up, Zero Man? Always good to see you. Need to get you in one of these days. But the shot blocker is down now, and we're good to go. In fact, I don't actually need the shot blocker, because unless I click on them, their units shouldn't show up. So we're going to keep that down for now. So I believe Sly and Sneaky Seal is a Lizardman main, so he is gonna. He said he's a bit of a one-trick pony or one dinosaur pony, but we'll see what he's got in the tank. That is 1-0 though, however, to him. So let's get up our very fancy scorecards that we now possess. Boom! Sly and Sneaky Seal is up 1-0. Is there anyone you guys would like to see in the second round? Anyone in particular? Looks like Sly and Sneaky Seal may be going Chaos. Hi guys, looks like we've got a few people watching. How is it going today? We have just started, so we have one game in. Fortunately, some Muppet had the blocker up for most of the battle. I'm not sure quite who that was, but I'm back in control now, and looks like we're all good. So Sly and Sneaky Seal is going Chaos, and let's just see. I believe they're going to be doing a gentleman's agreement. I'll go Dark Elves. Sweet, looks like we could have two forces of evil facing each other. And this is round one. Round two, we do have Consul of Rome, who is a returning finalist. I believe he got to the final in our first ever tournament and went down to Ben the Barman in a very hotly contested 2-1 series. And Weirshire, who I believe was in the ECL finals yesterday, and has been seen all across, you know, the Total War Warhammer scene. Very good player. I can be very excited to see him play. Yes, hopefully we'll get a few more people in here as the stream does grow. I believe there is another tournament going on at the same time, unfortunately, but you should go Empire and bring France. Feels what I can't say. No France tonight. I do enjoy the France man myself, but I never really play Empire. Something about playing humans. I'm not a big fan of in fantasy games. I'd rather play as the elves, the dwarfs, the nasty big lizard creatures. Cool, looks like they're all good to go. So it's going to be Chaos up against High Elves. I very much like this matchup for the High Elves, personally. Sisters of Avalon do a ton of damage. You do have to be a little bit careful because of Hell Cannons, but if you take a Dragon, for example, you can just fly over, breath attack that down, and just, you know, survive with White Lions and Sword Masters. You can deal with most of the infantry. So, any favourites here? Do we have any? I've seen we have a fan of, or someone who's not a fan of the Sly and Sneaky Seal, LM there. But we also have Croissant, who is also returning. I believe he also got knocked out by Ben the Barman. He has taken a lot of scalps in his time. He does like a good 2-1 series map. Sweet. And map number 2 will be Valley of Thieves. This map right here. These are all maps used for this tournament that have been used in the previous 3 tournaments. They've just been mixed up a little bit, so we don't get all the same maps. But they tend to be, you know, the best ones for competitive play overall. Now, how is the stream quality for you guys? I have upped it on OBS, so hopefully it should be full quality now. Fingers crossed. 8 people watching. What's up, guys? We're just getting started. We are 1 game in. It is 1-0 to Sly and Sneaky Seal. If you're enjoying, please do leave a like and subscribe and all that kind of, you know, standard YouTube good stuff. Really helps out the channel and helps support these guys as well. So there's no money on the line or anything for this tournament. However, in the grand finals, which the champion of this event will get, you know, a free ticket to, I am going to do a small prize, just funded by myself because, one, I can't get donations or any of that type of stuff yet, I don't think, without 1,000 subscribers, so we're not going to worry about any of that type of stuff kind of going into the finals. They're just going to get a small little trophy, but a little bit of a rubber duck of war twist on it, so instead of like a cheap little tacky trophy, they're going to get a luxurious and glorious themed rubber duck to put in their trophy cabinets. But should be all good. I'm very excited to see how this one plays out. I think it can be a fairly even matchup. I just personally prefer playing the High Elves in it myself. But we will see. I will let them know they're good to go when ready. Oh, looks like Sly and Sneaky Seal is good. And we will get this cracking. Just letting Croissant pick up his army, which is completely fine. We're in no rush. Looks like they're good to go. As usual, this is a 4-man tournament. Best of 3 every single round, including the finals. And it's all about the fair play and just having fun. But we do have a few rules, which are the Warhammer Cup rules. Basically, just stop mass kiting or spamming and those type of, you know, kind of stuff you're just not entertaining to watch, per se. But overall, as long as the competitors are all nice and fun to chill out with, then of course we will carry on. You know, they'll get invited back, as you've seen from previous tournaments anyway. So let's have a little look. If we take a look at Sly and Sneaky Seal, 1 up here, trying to get into the finals. He has gone for Chaos, with a mixture of Marauders and Chaos Warriors in the front line. Going pretty hardcore, actually, with the Chaos Warriors, dotted in with 1 or 2 Marauders. In the very back, he does have Kolek, so you should be a very happy man right now. This is the 2nd Kolek in a row. He is going to be alongside a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows here. Looks like has brought the Pendulum, Enfeeble Info, Mystify and Miasma, and the Forbidden Rod. So very cool build overall there. The Soul of Damnation, Hell Cannon, Regiment Renowned in the back. This can do a ton of damage against elite troops, which of course the High Elves like to bring. Got a couple of Hounds on the flanks, and also some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes in the back, which I like overall. So nice build, decent overall. Going to be taking a defensive approach the Soul of Damnation. Oh, this could be trouble though. Up in the air, there is in fact a Star Dragon. If this guy just flies over to that Hell Cannon, he can just give it a good old fire breath and that thing will just get destroyed. But for the front line, he has gone for a mixture of Spearmen on the flanks, supported by White Lines of Chase. A fantastic pick in these matchup. Very good, you know, fairly cheap armor-piercing unit. In the back, 2 units of Lothran Sea Guard, 1 unit of Sisters of Avalon, who have to be very, very careful to dodge those shots coming in. By the time that dragon flies over to deal with that Hell Cannon, they could be pretty much decimated. In the back, there is some 2 units of Illyrian Reavers and the Fireborn, the Regiment Round Dragon Princes. Awesome looking unit. I mean, they have Flaming Lances. What more do you want? And for his Lord, he has gone for Teclis, someone I don't often use because I tend to get my squishy wizards killed. But he has brought Regrowth, Enfeeble Info, and the Net, which I quite like. But has he not brought his potions? That could be a big mistake. I think his potions and sword are very good overall. But one quick look at chat now, just to ensure everything's all good screen blocker-wise. Yay, Kolek. Right, looks like blocker is gone. We're good to go. Who is your money on? Looking at these matchups, I do not know. I don't know. If that Hell Cannon gets some decent shots on those sisters, that is so much of their AP gone. Because they can just focus down Kolek so easily. And the first shot is coming in. Let's go for a little tracking shot here. Get rid of that. And it looks like it's going to be fired at White Lines, which is a bit of a mistake, but it could just be on auto fire straight away. And that dragon needs to get its butt over here right now and drop a breath attack. It just has to. Otherwise, second shot coming in. Yeah, heading straight for those sisters, doing not too much damage, a little bit of a glancing blow. Looks like one of those ladies isn't going to be getting up again. Go on, dragon. He's flapping his wings. He's trying as fast as possible. It's a very defensive approach, but he might as well do this. He has the artillery. He needs to get as much damage as he can. He is attacking, of course, because he is firing, so he is allowed to stay stationary here. No problems at all. Very good play, though, by Croissant. I think they were in a tighter packed formation before. He spread them out a little bit to try and stop casualties. And that dragon is coming flying over in. Now, he is going to take a little bit of pressure from the missiles. However, it's worth it. Just go over there, drop that breath attack. Looks like he's going for it. And kaboom. No, disaster. It actually stayed. Wow, okay, it managed to somehow survive that breath attack. If anything touches that, it should go down now. But that is a huge win right there for the Chaos. But it looks like, yeah, the dragon's going to have to commit. He knows he has to. And the sisters are going to take another volley, though. Oh, bit of a swing and a miss that time. Looks like they are going to be able to get in there and at least get some value. Leon Reavers have been caught by Chaos Warhounds of Poison. They're going to be dragged down by these Chaos Marauders. No, it looks like they're going to quickly swoop across, trying to save this dragon who went in there. He's done enough damage to the Sword of Damnation. He needs to get out of there, though. Kolek is coming in, and he is a beast when it comes to taking down big dragons and so forth. Yeah, he's just tearing them apart. But Leon Reavers do crushing in. So they should be able to take that Sword of Damnation off the line. And the front line has engaged. White lines going up toe-to-toe with Chaos Warriors. It should favour the white lines with their armour piercing, but Chaos Warriors will definitely be able to give it back. It looks like there is a pendulum coming in here. Ooh, a little bit behind there, so close to a perfect pendulum. It's in the back. Sword of Damnation has still been attacked. Dragon does get back up in the air, so if he gets some healthy healing on him, he can still obviously come back, do breath attacks, and be a big old pain. Sisters, let's see if they've managed to do anything. 0 kills so far. They've just taken a ton of damage. Lothar and Sigurd getting picked in the back as well, but they can fight decent in melee. Looks like we do have some spearmen coming over to assist. So in the very back here, we do have more Leon Reavers taking on Chaos Warhounds. They should be able to beat them down. And it looks like, yes, the Sword of Damnation has been completely wiped. Now, where are those fireballs? Here they are. They're charging to the front line, trying to assist these white lines. They should get in there and do a decent amount of damage, but Kolek is responding. Dragon looks like it's been getting some healing, although there's a spell coming down on these sisters right now. Ooh. Maybe it was cancelled, not quite sure what that is, but they are now shooting in. And now they are free of this very nasty Hell Cannon, and there's no backline harass. They're going to be doing a huge amount of damage, but it looks like Kolek is going to take matters into his own hands here and charging in. If he really needs a net by Teclis there, it'd be so nice. Allow those ladies to get away and do some decent damage. Leon Reavers are chasing down the Marauder Horsemen. I mean, they're fairly beat up, so that's actually probably a fairly, okay trade there. Lothar and Sigurd are doing a bit of crossfire, but they're not really going to pierce Kolek's armour too easily. And it looks like this could be going in the favour of Chaos, I feel. Power balance is still even, however. That dragon getting in there and doing some fantastic work. The white lines are winning their engagements, but in return getting very beaten up. There is a very healthy unit of Fireborn, however. Teclis is running away. Sisters have had a miasma pit on them, but they're back shooting and they can do a decent amount of damage even if there's only a few units. Chaos Warhounds are being threatened off here. I mean, it's still anyone's game. It's still fairly even, but I think it's definitely favouring the Chaos. A big pendulum coming down here, and he does not notice it. Lothar and Sigurd just get absolutely decimated there, down to just under half health. But those sisters are still firing. They really need to be shut down. There's only 24 of them, but that constant fire will add up. Spearmen are going to be swarming Kolek. The big dragon back up in the air should have a good breath attack on him. And it looks like he's going to pick on some of these Chaos Warhounds, which is a good pick. Just scare them off, kill them, hopefully shatter them, get them out of the way. Overall, High Elves have managed to stabilise a bit better than I thought they were going to. We have kind of broken units of white lines running around, helping clear up units. But there is some Chaos Warriors still very healthy, and there's very annoying Chaos Sorcerer who's been dropping all kinds of spells. Fire coming in so on Kolek. Down to 3,400 health. Still a very meaty boy in general and very tanky. Just a breath attack coming in. No, just a little something stuck in his throat there, the Star Dragon. He's just floating around. He needs to get into action, start getting some value. Now, where is Teclis? He's in the back here. He's doing okay. His sisters are getting charged in the rear, and I must admit, Slime Sneaky Seal's backline harass has been pretty good all game. He's done so much damage to these guys overall, but the dragon being used in reserve very well here as well. Teclis, a bold elf right here, charging into combat where Kolek is lurking, and Kolek gets one hit on him and takes down about a quarter health. Looks like that second one doesn't connect. Does the third one? He needs to get Teclis out of here right now. Right now. I have no idea how he's still alive. Star Dragon is coming in though. Teclis is now running for the hills. Luckily, he managed to spot him out. Good play there. Front line. Looks like the Fireborn have been kind of clogged down in combat, which isn't what they want to be. They want to be cycle charging. They are up to 115 kills. So they've been doing very good overall. Bouncing between these combats. Looks like they should be able to clear up this side over here. Now, where are those sisters? They're still online with 20. They need to get back. Shoot him. Teclis is running for his life here, but he has been enfeebling foe. And yeah, one smack then, he is gone. That is their high up leadership gone, which is so upsetting because they were still in a very good position. But with Teclis gone, I'm not so sure they can bring this back. Big breath attack though, coming in by a very angled dragon, trying to avenge Teclis a bit, who is running for the hills. I doubt he's going to rally with that little health though. That dragon needs to finish off Kolek, but it's such a risky move. Looks like all the archers are back in line. Sisters are looking the wrong way at the second, but it's very hard to micro all this. It's so much easier to commentate. While this is all going on, you're trying to watch 20 different things at once. Dragon does come crushing into the back of Kolek here. He needs to pick that fight, but Sly Sneaky Cell is not going to have any of it. He's going to block him in with all these Chaos Warriors. Although it looks like there's some high off Cav to come and try and seal the day. Sisters are still firing into Kolek. Brought him down to 1,000 health. And what is he doing? He needs to get in there and shut these guys down. Drop in a big old Thunderstorm though, which is going to do a ton of damage. But they are getting those rear shots. Down to 800 health. This is still anyone's game. The High Elves can still bring themselves back in this. That dragon is going to be an absolute menace. And with Kolek this low, I'm not sure actually what can take down the dragon. This could be a pretty remarkable comeback. We do have High Elves breaking all over the field, however, so this dragon, as long as its morale stays fine, if I was him right now, I would actually take this boy, fly him over, and just hop straight to Kolek. What's he going to do? 700 health, you're going to beat him down quite quickly, you're a big old flying monster, you're going to be able to catch him. Fireborn have rallied, watching their mighty, majestic dragon do its stuff, and those shots are still coming in from the sisters. Been very impressed with these ladies. They've got 16 kills now, done a ton of damage, even though they've taken an absolute hammering all battle. There's some hounds coming in to try and shut them down, but they're decent in combat themselves. The dragon still not going after Kolek, instead hopping in on these marauders and routing them off. Although, I guess that is saving these spearmen, who are quite healthy and important to the power of balance. And now you see the power balance is going massively in favour of the High Elves, as the chaos start to break in the face of such reckless dragons. He is going in for the big five Kolek. Last desperate fight here. Kolek has to get in there. He's had a few good swings, got him down to 2,600, but in turn does rout. And that is a comeback by Croissant there to make it 1-1 in this series. Very impressive battle. There's no way the Chaos come back from this. They literally just have a Chaos Sorcerer left, who the dragon can hop on if he wants to. I think, if we have a little look across the battlefield, that is it. Yep, these guys being chased down by Dragonborn, making great use of only 6 of them being left. Kolek rallies, but he's got 192 health. Looks like the Sorcerer is charging in, screaming as he goes to death. Flinging a couple of those ladies over, however, when that dragon eventually catches up with him, he will be gone. And yeah, as you can see, Kolek does rout off the field. These Chaos Warriors are being escorted, and that is going to be game. GG's all around. Very exciting series. We go to game number 3. That was a super entertaining game. Let's have a quick little look at chat before I change the maps and so forth. Yo, what's up, Ben the Barman? How's it going, dude? Aristodamos, what's up, my G? Nice to see you guys here. Hope work was all good, Ben. And let's change the map. So we are going to the mighty, all the way down here, Glacial Lake. Looks like Sly and Sneaky Seal wanted to play Lizardmen again, but unfortunately, you can only use a faction once per best of 3. So the other participants are Worsha, who's going to be up against Consul of Rome, who is a previous finalist, and I believe, if Ben does remember, managed to take him down in the first ever Death Before Dishonour, which seems like a lifetime ago. Hey, looks like we've got a few new people watching since I last looked. What up, guys? Hope you're all doing good today. Please smash that like button. It makes me feel better about life in general, and also helps out the channel. And, you know, drop those classic subscriptions, all that kind of, you know, classic YouTube stuff. I don't like to go on about it, but it does definitely help out, especially when streaming. Yes, the greatest there is. That is, I have heard the rumours. So I am on a bit of a delay with you guys, unfortunately, because of the way the streaming works with OBS. So I'm going to be about 30 seconds behind and having to look at chat on my phone, as I don't have 2 screens at the moment. So. Just hurry them up a little bit. We're all chill though, but just let them get the conversation started. Yes, it is Worsha who you are gonna be facing, my dude. He is a very talented player. Recently played in the Everchosen, I believe. Excited to see him play. Cool, we may be getting some Beastmen by the looks of it. Just gonna update the scorecards if I haven't already. Boom. So it is 1-1. Just going to quickly check. Oh, cheers, Consul of Rome, for telling me the blocker was up in the first game. Apologies for everyone who saw that. Half the battle, there was a big old blocker in the way, but there was some fantastic commentary to get you guys through it. And you could just close your eyes, sit back, relax, and, you know, picture. Cool, so it looks like we're either going to have Tomb Kings or Beastmen on the Sly and Sneaky Seal side, and then Croissant will match it. I'm very excited for this, so let's have a little look-see. Cool. Both of these guys are super chill. I believe this is Sly's first tournament, I believe. Croissant has played in one of our tournaments before. It's always good to see good sportsmanship. That is honestly the most important thing. Obviously you want to see good games and fun builds and all that kind of stuff, but as long as people get on and are easy to get on with and easy to communicate with, then they'll always be invited back, you know, to play in future tournaments, which, to be honest, I've been super lucky. I've had no problems with anyone at all. Looks like we got Beastmen up against Dark Elves. Interesting matchup. Personally, I don't play this matchup too often, so I don't know who it favours. I suck with Dark Elves, which is a bit of a problem because they're a very good race, and I'd like to get better with them. Super good skirmish, but then again, Beastmen, one of the best swarming factions in the game, so be interesting to see how it goes. We are going to be on Glacial Lake as well. It's a pretty fun map, got a big old hole in it, so you can do some sneaky flanking. I believe this is a classic from the first Total War. Now, a quick message out to anyone who's joined us late and didn't get my message early on. All week, and especially today, I've been having loads of blue screen crashes of death, which are very upsetting, where my computer completely shuts down and just says, what was the exact word in memory management, and won't tell me anything more, which I believe is something to do with, what's it to do with now? Now I've completely forgotten. Not the graphics card, the memory card, basically, in the computer. So if this stream does completely crash all of a sudden at one point, have no fear. The guys are going to carry on playing, send me the replays, and the remaining games will be posted up on the channel tomorrow, as long as I can get the computer fixed. But fingers crossed, everything seems pretty stable at the moment, which is good luck. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be good for the whole tournament. It's very upsetting because the computer is not brand new, but it's only about 3 months old. So if I'm having problems with it already, hoping everything is on warranty, of course. So who is your money on? You've seen both these players play twice now. I was very impressed with the comeback from Croissant there, but Sly and Sneaky Seal definitely has some of those sneaky schemes. He lives up to his name, and with the Beastmen there's so much vanguarding you can do, but there is no forest on this map, so it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting. And then, yep, up next, Consul of Rome and Worsha. I think those guys have already decided their picks, but I'll leave that as a surprise anyway until we get to the battles. We should be all cool. So how are you guys doing? Any questions? Please do leave them in chat. Of course, there is a delay, but, you know, I will get back to them as soon as I can. It's nice to see a few familiar faces. And a few of you guys, actually, who seem to check out every stream. I need to get into some of these tournaments. I actually played my first ever tournament games over the weekend. I had time off from work. I normally work weekends, so I actually had a chance to play. And I got my ass kicked. But it was good fun. It was good fun anyway, so... Map, yes, Glacial Lake. Yes, I came up against, I want to say Mudkip, but I know that's not his name because it's not a D in it, but he reminds me of a little Pokemon. Came up against him in a 2-game series and got dragged down. I believe that was in the, I want to say Coffee Cup, which was really good fun to play in. Strange. Okay, maybe it might be a bit of a strange map for tournaments, but I've seen it used in tournaments before, actually, in tournament streams, so should be all good. If anything, I think it might favour him over the Beastmen. But yes, played in the Coffee Cup, which was good fun, which is actually hosted by someone in chat right now, Aristodemus. And I also played in... I want to say his name's HW Sun, but I can't remember. Played in his tournament, which is really good fun as well. I can't remember if I came up against in that, but it was a good time. A very good time getting into those tournament games. But looks like they are all good. Now, I have actually played both of these guys before on a Come At Me Bro series, which is a series I do mainly every other week, I think, at the moment, where I just hop online, anyone in chat can play me. So if any of you guys want to do that in the future, just keep an eye out for it. I played both of these guys. I think I'm 1-on-1 with Croissant at the moment. And I think I got a little bit lucky and beat Sly Sneaky Seal 1-0 in the first ever one. But I got a bit lucky. He brought a load of Hellcannons, but the map was Alpine Ridge, which we're hopefully going to have in our finals today. And it's kind of really bad for Hellcannons, of course, because of the line of sight blocking. Let these guys know they're good to go. Sweet, looks like Sly and Sneaky Seal is ready. Yes, you did hear Coffee, my dude. Yeah, I played in your tournament. I got my ass kicked, but it was good fun, so thank you for letting me participate. And yes, my son HW hosted his own tournament as well, which I took part in. So I played in both of those over the weekend. I'll let him know there's no rush, we're all chill. And yeah, this is anyone joining. This is the first game. Up next, we have Consul of Rome and Worship, and then it is on to the finals. Every round is best of 3, including the finals. Looks like they're good to go. In the Royal Rumble mashup, which is going to be all the champions from all the Deathfall Dishonours, though, I believe the last round is going to be best of 5, so we're going to be mixing up a little bit. And yeah, there will be a very valuable rubber duck prize. So, let's get this underway. I quite like this map. It's pretty damn open, but there is a chance for some flanking as well. And we saw some fantastic play, I believe in Zach B. Sane's tournament, where Dwarfs like boxed in round here and was shooting rock lobbers over the top of this. It was crazy. But let's get this underway. So Sly and Sneaky Seal has gone for a very wide build here, with Goreherds galore, Blackhorn Ravagers included. Goreherds, just mass Goreherds into the sunset. Couple of units of Chaos Warhounds with Poison, which he seems to be a fan of, which I don't blame him. They're very useful overall. That slow coming in really helps out. Some Centaurs with Throne Axes, very competitive pick. And it looks like he has a little Death Blob over here. So he does have Morga the Shadowgave, super tanky lord. He's obviously brought his staff so he can summon some Chaos Spawn. He has a Brave Shaman of Shadows. Looks like he has brought Pendulum and Feeble in Foe. Let's have a little look. No, he's bought the Mystifying Miasma, that she used last game as well, and the Butchers of Kalkengard. Not only do they have an awesome name, skulls strapped to their shields and horns to boot, very tanky, have regen, cause terror, all that very nasty stuff. And I think, for the most part, that is his army. Looks like he's going for a mass vanguard approach. This is going to be a very quick game one way or the other. He's also going... Oh, he's going for the rear attack. He has him completely surrounded here. Now for the Dark Elves, we have Dread Spears, Bleak Swords, Black Ark Corsairs, more Bleak Swords, and Dread Spears. So a fairly cheap front line. Let's see where he spent that money. Snesh's Harvesters, Regiment Round Doomfire Warlocks, a very useful unit overall, very quick and deadly. Dread Spears in the back. Then some Cold One Knights, which are going to do pretty decent. Dark Riders, more Cold One Knights, which will do very good at taking down those Centaurs. Up in the sky, he does have Malekith on his Mighty Dragon. And some Harpies. Let's see what spells Malekith brought. Of course, he is a spellcaster / melee combatant. Oh, looks like it's getting under battle straight away. And the rear attack has been noticed instantly here by Crosson. And he is charging in with his Cold One Knights, sending these Ungors flying. I feel sorry for these Ungors. They could just get teared straight off the battlefield. The Goreherds do go crashing in, doing a huge amount of damage in this front line here. Malekith is flying forward, just scaring some troops off. And who do we have around the flank here? Just some more Chaos Warhounds coming back. So in the back, yeah, that shattering charge there. It was a risky strategy having the Ungors appear in the back. It can work if you catch your opponent offline, if he bought Dark Shards and so forth, but instead he had a Cav in the back. And these guys are now going to get chased off, and that's so much value gone. However, he is crumping this front line. Butchers have come in, slaughtered the Black Ark Corsairs. It looks like these Bleak Swords are going to get beaten up, although they might be saved by Malekith. And on this flank, Bleak Swords may be saved by a nice rear attack for some Dread Spears. And now that Cav has cleared up the back, it's going to come charging into the front. Over on the left-hand flank, though, one unit of Cold One Knights does get spanked. I'm assuming that is a combination of Chaos Warhounds poisoning them. Then, we do have the Black Horn Ravengers and Ungors and all that kind of good stuff, just to drag them down. So we do have some summoned Chaos Spawn in the middle here. In fact, 2 units of summoned... Oh no, one of them is the Butchers. So one of those units has been popped. I believe that was the involuntary one. And in the distance, we have Dread Spears chasing off Centaurs, which is at least wasting their ammo. They've got no chance of catching them. Very pitched battle at the moment. Great early pick with that cavalry. However, the front line has been slaughtered. It's maybe just best to wait out these Chaos Spawn, try and pick off these Butchers, and after that, the Dragon will have no problems tear out in most of the rest of the stuff. As Centaurs' Throne Axes are being dragged away. And where are the other ones? They're getting pretty close. Okay, they're being sly and sneaky. And they are throwing in some axes on Malekith, who's going to drop a fat breath attack down on these Butchers, doing a decent amount of damage, but they are still on 12 models, and those guys do heal. They have regeneration. Chaos Spawn making a nuisance of themselves and crushing down on these Dread Spears. Not the best target, but you might as well use them when you can, as they are about to disappear. It looks like the Gors on this side have been beaten off by these Cold One Knights, up to 157 kills. That is madness. Fantastic job by them. Warhounds have been caught by Dread Spears, which is a little bit unfortunate. Centaurs are now just trying to dart and dodge wherever they can. Now, how are these Butchers getting on? They're not doing too bad. They're going to be regenning, as you can see. Malekith is flying over, though. It could be a bit of a nuisance. So all across the battlefield, it looks like the Dark Elves were able to kind of stabilise after that initial assault on all sides, and now it's just going to be Malekith trying to tear out everyone. But this is risky. The Butchers can put a big hurt on him. He should be able to do a decent amount of damage with Throne Axe support. Morgard needs to get over here. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And is he dropping? He's dropped a big old Word of Pain, which is fantastic play. So now we'll be able to beat the crap out of these Butchers. However, Chaos Spawn have been summoned in response, and they can do a decent amount of damage, but as we can see in the background, such as Harvest coming in, a load of foot troops for the infantry are rushing in now to kind of assist. And this is where the battle could be made or broken. It looks like the Butchers could be pushed off, but Malekith in return has taken a ton of damage. If he has Enfeebling Foe, Enfeebling Foe is placed on him. If he has, what's the big area of effect where he can suck in some lovely hit points? Soul Sealer, there we go. If he has enough Winds of Magic for a fat Soul Sealer, I reckon he may have this. Breath Attack coming in, tearing apart some of those Butchers who are now down to 5 models. And this is looking pretty good for the Dark Elves at the moment. They're tearing apart all the Goreherds, picking off the scrapping units on the flanks, which is good play. Cold One's trying to chase down Centaurs here. And then he's going to eventually have to come in and deal with this nasty blob. Butchers are flying away. If I was Crosson, I'd maybe just go fly over and kill those guys while they're isolated, but it does look like the Brave Shaman and Morga are running over to assist. These Chaos Spawn are going to disappear shortly, so these guys, they're taking losses they don't really need to take. It looks like we do in fact have the Sisters of Singing Doom here, which I didn't notice before. And these Centaurs are being dragged down here by Cold Ones, slowly pulled down. And it looks like they're going to rout and be driven off the field. So it's looking very good for the Dark Elves now. Power Balance, though, is still fairly even. But as soon as those Chaos Spawn disappear, yeah, you can see it's now slightly in favour of the Dark Elves, but by no means over at all. These Butchers, the entire time, are healing up. And of course, the Shadowgave himself is very tanky. We have 11 Doomfire Warlocks here who are just going to be chasing off these round units, which is fantastic. They really need to get these Sentinels off the field. And once that's done, there's nothing that can stop Malekith, I do believe. Butchers can give it a good go, but being isolated like this, they really need the support. And yeah, down to 1000 HP. They have Call of Violence popped to them to keep them in the fight a little bit longer. Malekith is going toe-to-toe with the Shadowgave, who can do a decent amount of damage, but he's just going to get flung around too much, I'm afraid. But Enfeebling Foe has been popped down. This could be his chance to drag him down. Brave Shaman comes in, desperate last charge here. Malekith is tanking. He needs to get him out of here now. Like, he's throwing this battle. If he just keeps Malekith alive, he can't be defeated. No way! It looks like it's going to be dragged down. What a play. The Enfeebling Foe trapping him in with the Butchers. That Brave Shaman coming in doing a decent amount of damage. It looks like it has managed to rout Malekith. He may return. It looks like the Cold War Knights have charged in. They should be able to drag down these Butchers, however. This is such a close game now. Malekith just needed to stay out of there. He needed to avoid those Enfeebling Foe. That was the only thing that could stop him. We have Centaurs returning now. I think he's gone. I think he's not coming back with only... Oh no! Wow! 179 health does rally. That is a huge boon there to the Dark Elves. And it looks like they haven't managed to scare off the Butchers. Just chase these guys off the field. Chase the Brave Shaman with Malekith. And leave Morga alone, and you have the win. But very nice, almost a super comeback there by the Sly and Sneaky Seal. But I think with the Butchers gone, with the Brave Shaman being chased off, and Malekith... Oh, Malekith is routing. He's just scared of everything right now. It is going to be Morga versus the world, but Brave Shaman's dead. There's no way these Butchers are going to be left to come back. Well, the Sentinels are going to come in and try and rescue them. Malekith does rally. He needs to just stay as far away from any enemies as possible, pop his leadership buffs if at any point he ever can, and just drop spells when possible. Unfortunately for the Sentinels, they do instantly get rampaged by the Sisters of Singing Doom. They're going to have to stay and fight in combat, and they will get dragged down. Butchers, I very much doubt they're going to come back. They are healing up the entire time, but there's only a couple of models left. And now it is the World versus Morga. He has popped Foeseeker. He is very tanky, however. Cold Ones, though, double chevroned up, should be able to put a bit of a hurting on him. Sisters Singing Doom as well will definitely help. Looks like the Butchers are gone, Sentinels are going. Malekith, if he has any Winds of Magic left, could be vital here, dropping buffs and debuffs. And he's popped Stand Your Ground on these troops now. He's going in. He's only on 179 health. I would use him to chase off these Sentinels right now. If they get kind of frozen, though, they might be able to break him off. But super close game. All can come back. We have Dread Spears, Bleak Swords. That is it. This has come right down to the wire. The final game. 2 units. One has completely shattered now. These Bleak Swords aren't coming back. Sentinels, as soon as they get close, they're probably going to break. Let's see. Malekith is still fine. Morga, where are you in there, buddy? Word of Pain has been popped on him, which is going to be huge. Taking down that melee attack. And yeah, his morale is just tanking now. Sentinels desperate charging, probably to try and rescue him. Cold Ones do rally, and there we go. 2-1 series to cross on there. Super close fought, so Worsha and Consul of Rome, it is your time. I hope you are prepared. You've seen what awaits you. Let's just give these guys a GG. Very good games by our opponents there. Now, when they hop out the lobby, guys, for you guys who are playing next, the lobby is Death Before Dishonour, and the password is 8888. And everyone give a big round of applause in the chat, please, for Sly and Sneaky Seal. Not only for playing, but also he hopped in super late, actually, with about 20 minutes to go to compete. So no prep time for him. Very good overall. Let's see what chat's saying. Yeah, it was all about that cycle charging, but that was such a good game. I really enjoyed that. So, guys, looks like I've got Consul of Rome hopping in. We're just going to wait for Worsha now. His password is 8888, dude, if you're still in the chat. And let's get this cracking. So, yeah, GG's all around for our competitors there. And we'll see cross on in the final. Cool. Cool, let's change the maps and then we'll get onto the schools. So map number 1 is going to be the map I cannot say ever. So this Frenchy map is the map we're going to be playing. Cool, let's check chat, make sure Worshipp's all good. Yeah, chat's all good. Nice to see you guys in here, by the way. Always good to see you. And you are going to be joined by the competitors, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Cool, just going to change this right here. I may have spelled their names wrong, but you get the general gist, and it is super quick. So back down to 0-0. And let's hop in, and we do have Worship here. So we should have some very good games here, and they've already pre-picked their matchups together. So we just let them decide, pick their armies, but we do have the Dowie, led by the mighty Consul of Rome himself, and Worship is in charge of the Beastmen, which is an interesting matchup. I mean, Beastmen are very good at getting into that back line. Bestigals are very good in this matchup. But at the same time, I think there are counters on both sides, so it should be quite good fun. Yo, what's up, Tristan, my dude? Very well played, man. You guys played really good, man. I was honestly really impressed. That enfeebling foe at the end to bring down Malekith was so... I thought you had it, honestly. You did that... if Malekith had run off the field, he had like 140-something health. If he had broken completely, I think you might have managed to have that, man. Because then he managed to drop another word of pain on you, and then all of a sudden Morga couldn't do anything, you know. But overall, very good, man. Always happy to have you back. And we have 10 people watching. What's up, guys? Please do drop a like if you are enjoying. I am here all week, dropping videos. I drop between 3 and 4 videos a week, and normally 1 stream. Got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to have a... like novice tournament as well, just for new players who haven't played in tournaments before. Also a good versus evil tournament, and the grand finals of the Death Before Dishonour as well, where we have all our champions come together to scrap it out, which are currently Ben, the legendary Ben the Barman, who's in chat right now. Say what up to him. We have Zach B. Sane as well, who took the trophy from him and is currently undefeated because he couldn't play in the third one, where Falcon swooped in and took the title for himself. So those are the 3 competitors so far. And one of these lucky souls, or poor souls, depends on how you take it, will be eventually facing those guys off in a grand final for the ultimate prize of a Roman like warrior-themed rubber duck. Which who wouldn't want a rubber duck for one? Cool. Worship is just picking his build, and then we'll get this cracking. Yeah, Mass Vanguard was a risk, man. Just checking chat now. It can work really well, but there was just cav in the back. If there was archers, you would have been golden, but because there was so much cav, it just turned around and thumped you. I've seen it done so many times. I love the Vanguard, but I think Mass Vanguard's a bit too much. But that was his first matchup as the cow people, apparently, so very impressive. Looks like we've got 12 people watching. What up, what up, what up? We're going into our second round of games. So we just had Croissant. Managed to beat out the Slyne Sneaky Seal in a very hotly contested 2-1 series. Some very good matches. Big comeback by Croissant in game 2 as well. And now we have Consul of Rome up against Worship. And the winner of this will be meeting in the finals. Cool, looks like they're all ready. Cool, I'll just wait for them to do the little ticks just to let me know. And we'll start the battle. Very excited to see this one. I haven't seen Consul of Rome play in a little while. He did play in our first tournament, got to the finals. And actually, I may have played him on stream. I think I played him on stream once. Yo, Tim, I see you there, man. What's up? Can you please explain the difference between a classic left, right, left and the old school right, left, right? I am an advocate of the right, left, right, honestly. It's far better, especially on certain maps. But the left, right, left is more of a classic of kind of newer players like Tim himself, who, for those who don't know, has no idea what Tote War is, and just is a friend of mine. So, if someone would like to explain to him how to play Total War, feel free, but you may be there for quite a while. But it's good to see you, dude. Hope you're a good man. Or I hope you're bad, actually. Hope you're not doing good. And for interfering with my stream. Yeah, doing Massive Vanguard against Dark Elves, they're so quick and fast, it can be really tough. But overall, this map, super awesome. So there is a lot of trees, so you can do a lot of kind of sneaky vanguarding tactics. But also, there is a big open middle as well, so if you want to force open fight and bring kind of long-range tools, you can. So let's check out Consul of Rome's Dowie army. Of course, we're always big fans of the Dowie. So in the very front, he does have miners with blasting charges, old school classic there. And in the back, for a small gun line, 1 unit of Corallers, 2 units of Thunderers. But for the most part, looks like he's going for mass infantry, which is quite interesting. Let's check out his Lord while he's just repositioning. He does just have a basic Lord. He's raising his shield, you know. He's still an angry dude. I don't want to call him basic, but here's a little bit. He does have star metal plate armor, -9 melee attack all around him, which is quite cool. Now for his main line, he has gone for Ironbreakers, Dwarf Warriors, Mass Longbeards, all mixed in together, which is quite nice to see. I love Ironbreakers. They're super tanky. They just don't do that much damage. And a big old fat unit of Slayers as well. So it looks like he's going for the slow grind fight. And no way has he not brought Runesmith. No Runesmith. It looks like it is all going to be Dwarf Warriors, mixed with Great Weapons, Longbeards, and that 1 unit of Ironbreakers. I'm hoping these guns do the business. Which is actually not a bad shout up against Beastmen. Let's have a little look at their army. So in the front, he does have a couple of Vanguard units of Ungor Herds here for Worshers. And another unit over on the side here, hidden in the trees. Here's some Centaurs with Thrown Axes. Always good pick for their armor piercing. And this is going to be a worry. For his main line, he has 4 fat units of Bestigors who are going to come in there. They're going to tear apart most of that Dowie army single-handedly. So he needs to get those Thunderers and shoot those guys down. Another unit of Centaurs on the flank. For his leadership, he has a Brave Shaman of Beasts coming in with the transformation of Kadon. That's really useful in this matchup, getting that Manticore up in the air and hunting down those ranged units. He also has a Beast Lord on Chariot and another Brave Shaman of Beast with Flock of Doom up on a Chariot. And Chariots are an absolute menace for the Dwarfs. Just looking at the armies, this is a nasty army. I can see it's got to favour the Beastmen. What are you guys thinking in chat there? Just while they're redeploying, I have a little look. What does the left right mean? It helps you crossing the streets in Great Britain. That's definitely right. Cross on. It's quite dangerous over here with lots of cars rolling around. And don't worry, Tim has so much Total War knowledge that eventually I'm sure he will teach you guys what the left is, which is actually a thing, but it's a tactic not used in Total War. It's a different game we like to play. So there's in fact 2 units of Slayers in the back here. Quite a tight formation. I've just got a feeling those Bestigors are going to run them over. These guys know there is no rush. This is obviously set on unlimited time as well, so there's no chance of the timer running out or any of that kind of nasty stuff. Cool, so miners are going to be mixed in the front line with the Ironbreakers, so that's very tanky. Those blasts and charges will do a ton of damage, and I mean these Ungor Herds are just going to do nothing back, but the Bestigors, they may, with Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons getting there, will help take them down, but it's going to be a struggle, I think. Especially with, I know Worsh is a very good player, and Chariots against Dwarfs can be very nasty. So the game has begun. And let's see what happens. The Beastmen are surging out of the forest here. I'm sure both players are just taking a little cheeky look at each other's armies, trying to gauge what is what. We do have a little bit of cheeky Centaurs going around the flank. As you can see, the Dwarfs are repositioning. And yeah, Ungors moving around the side. We also have some Razor Chariots, which are going to be very good in this matchup as long as they don't get caught. Very good play by both players who are both attacking, which is nice to see. Centaurs are hiding in the forest, however, waiting for that late game. Dwarf Lord very bravely leading his people here, giving heroic speeches, facing down the beastly hordes that approach. But this could be deadly. Let's see. So hopefully these guys get the attack order to throw their blasting charges. They are currently moving forwards. The first volleys have gone into these Bestigors. Looks like the Ironbreakers did go a little bit too quickly before they got their satchel charges. No, they covered them over top into the Bestigors. Unfortunately, these Ungors do manage to shut them down. But over here, those blast charges go off much more successfully, really messing up that Bestigor charge and taking away some of that nasty AP damage. The second line has come crushing in, so we've got Dwarf Warriors with great weapons charging in on all flanks, trying to support their brethren and really kind of negate some of those Bestigor charges, which they've done very effectively so far. So Ungors here are basically broken. However, in the middle, Bestigors are all in, and it's going to start getting a bit nasty for the Dowie. But those blasting charges did a lot of damage. Chariots are roaming in the back, and this massive left flank from the the Centaurs and Ungors is going to overwhelm these poor Dwarf Warriors. However, the gun line is still online at the moment. They do have some sneaky Dwarf Warriors protecting. And where are those Slayers that we saw earlier? Here they are. They're running around trying to chase down on these Chariots, which is a good pick. If they can pick these Brave Shamans and slow them down, they do a decent job. Thunderers are turning and shooting at Centaurs, but the backline's still actually fairly unharassed at the moment. But it's just, can they get those good shots in? They're doing a decent job on the Beast Lord, and that Dwarf Lord is just smacking Bestigors around, leading his brave Dowie people here, giving a good old shield bash there while jumping. I am fairly short myself, so I respect the jumping shield bash technique. And the power balance is slightly in favour of the Beastmen at the moment, and the Centaurs are finally going to get into this back pocket on top of these Thunderers, going in for the combat charge, which is very good, taking them off their natural stance of long-range shooting, and just shut down these Thunderers. Miners will be able to put a little bit of hurt on them, but nothing too spectacular. And yeah, that was the unit that was originally hidden. So Ungors also coming for flank, and the Dwarfs are slowly getting isolated here. However, shots are coming in, doing a decent amount of damage on this Beast Lord and Chariots. They're going to be tough to deal with. So in the middle, Bestigors are being dragged down by Dwarf Warriors and Slayers, which isn't where they want to be, but at least they do a decent damage here. Mixture of Dwarfs fighting these very nasty Cowfolk. And some Ungors getting in there to try and help protect, but they're not going to be doing too much. Overall, however, Dwarfs are being isolated and slowly picked away. They have a couple of pockets of strength. They really need to unite, otherwise these Brave Shamans on their Chariots and the Lord are just going to run them over. And as we can see, they're having a few leadership troubles. Looks like they've rallied a little bit. Stand your ground has been popped. And yeah, it's just these Chariots. They're so nasty up against Dwarfs. But they have managed to beat off some Bestigors there, the Ironbreakers. Looks like these very expensive Bestigors are also going down. A nice rear attack by the Longbeards. No one expects the flank from the Dowie, but occasionally it happens, and they can drag down these Bestigors quite comfortably. So it's still anyone's game at the moment, but there is a lot of running away Dowie, which is a problem. They are rallying, but someone of the skill of Worship, he's just going to take his very fast units, or some beaten up units, and chase those guys down, not allow them to unify. Dwarf Lord is getting a little bit worried now. He is up against a mighty beast in the form of a Manticore, plus this Razor Chariot, where he's done a decent amount of damage, but he throws his arms up in the air, and it looks like he is terrified and going to be running off the field, and I think that is going to be game one to the Beastmen by the looks of it. Looks like army losses are nearly kicking in here. I mean, the forces are fairly even number count still, but these elite Dowie are slowly going down. They're going to bring down these Bestigors in response. Ironbreakers are holding firm, but their Lord does break. And with him gone, these guys are going to get scared off the field, I'm afraid, especially by those nasty big Chariots. And let's see, is there anything rallying on the sides? We have some Thunderers who are being chased off by Ungors, which is very unfortunate. In the back, we have some Thunderers coming back shooting. Unit of Longbeards, Dwarf Warriors, and a few units kind of scattered around, but this main pocket is soon to break. Flock of Doom coming in, not going to do too much damage. Of course, Dwarfs are magic resistant, but the Chariots now come crashing, flinging those guys around. Those Ironbreakers, very slowly, but will surely get dragged down. Oh, Thunderers actually rally here, and Ungors aren't chasing them for some reason, and get some point-blank shots to the face here on these poor little Ungors, who will be... I'm not very happy about this, I'm sure. Worsha has left them here, perhaps just for the sport of it, and seeing these guys shoot them down. There is, of course, 1,000 things going on at once, so when playing, little mistakes like this, of course, happen. It's very hard to kind of micro everywhere. Only, like, even the very top players I've seen make mistakes all the time. Miners are coming back in, rallying behind their Thunderers, but army losses are kicking in. You can see the morale drops on all the Dowie very quickly, and I think that is going to be game. So very well played, and that is 1-0 to Worsha. Yes, yeah. So what did you think of that in the chat, guys? Can have a little look. Dwarf bots from sheep. Man, I love dwarfs. Dwarfs are the best. Dwarfs are the best. Screw your Chariots. I'm having a little look here. Yes, all's fun to see. Recharge. No one gets recharged by the Dowie, okay? But GG's all round, very fun, entertaining game. Best scores, just 99, 107, did some decent damage, but decent damage on those Iron Breakers as well. So let's change the map quickly before I forget. We do up next, I believe, have one of my favourite maps, which is... Please say it is in alphabetical order and not one of those weird ones. There it is, Troll Country. It looks like we have Empire by Consul of Rome. I know they've pre-picked, so we'll see. And it is Vampirates, apparently. So we are going Vampire Coast here. Interesting matchup. I don't actually have the Vampire Coast DLC. It's the only one I don't have. I'll be getting it very soon, so I'll do my best with my game knowledge on them. Empire, I've played a little bit. That was madness, Tim. I know you're a big Dowie fan yourself, so just a bit scared. Alistair Damos, man, we need to get you in one of these tournaments, dude. It'd be great fun to have. As long as, you know, you give me a biased entry into the Coffee Cup, of course. Maybe just, you know, chucking me in the finals. You know, I could be a good challenger at the end. Feel like that would be pretty fair. I've got 11 people watching. What's up, guys? Nice to see you all. Please do drop a like down below. And also, if you fancy subscribing and seeing more of this kind of glorious people stabbing people in the face, feel free. I'm going to change quickly the scores. So that is 1-0 to Worship. Let them decide their armies. So yeah, the first round went to 2-1. Let's see if Consul of Rome can drag this back. It is certainly possible, as we saw with Croissant. He not only dragged himself back, but also in game 2 looked like he was going to lose and managed to bring it back. And Sly Sneaky Seal almost brought the final game back. Those were some very close, tight games. Hey, yes, he got 10 likes now on the video. Makes me very happy. It's very weird being like 30... I might even be like a minute ahead of you guys just because we've upped the stream quality to max. So it's quite slow on the get up. But, you know, it gives you guys like the proper quality, which is a lot better than the previous streams. So looks like Worship is ready. So let's cancel his time. We're just chilling. So it's all good. Unfortunately, I am working this weekend, so I will not be able to participate in any more tournaments for a little while. I've got some time coming off. And hopefully, I won't be working weekends for too much longer, so I'll be able to take part in some tournaments. Because that is actually how this tournament came about. Because I wanted to play in tournaments, however, there was none during the week. They were all kind of on the weekends, so I made my own one instead. Cool, looks like they're good to go. I almost ended up playing in this tournament because we had a couple of dropouts, unfortunately, which is no fault of their own. Obviously, real life definitely takes precedent over top of Total War. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but it does. So I almost stepped in, but luckily we did have Sly and Sneaky Seal popping at the end there. And give us some great games. Some very good games overall. Cool. So this is a very small map. It has some forests, so you can be a bit more sneaky. It has hills. It has a little bit of everything, to be honest, which is why I quite like it. And also, the deployments are very close together, so you can get straight up there and smash your opponent in the face if you want to. You know, make it a full-on blood and thunder affair. Or, you know, you can still be sneaky with all these trees and so forth. I'm just going to wait for the players to load in, and we'll have a little look at chat. I can chug up my my bank account to get into the Coffee Cup finals. Man... I don't know, man. I feel like, if, you know, I get you into my finals, you get me into your finals, do a little side business. But honestly, man, if you ever want to play one of these, just shoot me a message on Discord, and I'll happily have you involved, of course. And that goes for anyone, actually. If anyone does want to, you know, play in these type of events, or just play against me in general, just message me on Discord. I have the same name as I have here, or leave a message in the comments, all that kind of good stuff, and I will get back to you. Cool, so let's have a little look at Consul of Rome's army, leading the legions of the Empire. He on the flanks has some Empire Knights, in fact 3 units total, one of them being Reichsguard here. He likes to do this big blob and kind of move to the back to start with. Here in the very back he has a ton of crossbowmen, which will do a very decent job here. Handguns aren't necessary unless your opponent's bought lots of nasty crabs. He's on very cheap and cheerful in the front line with spearmen, which will hold the line for a long time. Also Sigma's Sons, who of course unbreakable. And that's all you really need up against these guys. I prefer Flagellants myself, but they do a decent job coming up against zombies and all that kind of crash. Or not crash, kind of crap, you know, to be honest. Best way of putting it. So you use the Empire Knights then to deal the actual damage and the crossbowmen. It looks like he does, though, have the silver bullets, just in case there's any crabs lurking around. And for his lord, he does just have a basic general of the Empire. He likes going for these basic lords by the looks of it. Looks like he's not brought anything special. And a Wizard of Death, which is very nice. Popping up with Fate of Biuna, Spirit Leech, and he has a Power Stone. It's a nice build overall. Should do decent against mass chaff. It looks like he's also got, I have not seen these guys, Regiment Renowned Reichsguard. Looks like they have Vanguard. Very risky, but could pull off very well overall. Oh, this is so nasty. So Wilshire coming in with these nasty builds here. He does have some scurvy dogs on the flank. He has a ton of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, some basic and some with polearms. As you can see, spread out amongst his entire army, protecting 1, 2, 3, 4 carronades, which I believe is the max you're allowed to bring. They're going to put a massive hurting on from long range. However, they don't have the best targets. Most of this is chaff. They're going to be trying to take down those knights, I'm sure, though. And we do have Diafin herself up on top of a horrendous looking crab, who we're named Tim for the time being, who's just spitting saliva out there. It's going to be a massive pain. Those silver bullets need to get on there and take her down. Let's see what spells she brought. Looks like a ton of them. We do have the Vargeist's Revenge. We have Tide Call and Kiss of the Deep. So I'm not too used to using her yet. Of course, not using her myself, but she's a big terror-coursing, nasty, horrible creature. We also have the Lamprey's Revenge, which are the Regiment Round Rotting Crabs, whatever they're called. Trying to think of their name, but the big old Rotting Crabs. And they, in fact, I think are definitely riding shotgun with these big old guns on top. Also, in the distance, it looks like he has some more scurvy dogs and some more scurvy dogs. So if met by these Zintlers, Reichsguard will get torn down quite quickly. But interesting to see how this goes. He has a lot of answers to the chaff, but not so much to the crabs. Who's your money on, chat? Seen the two armies? Who are you thinking? I don't know. Wirsch is such a good player. Tim thinks Zombies has this? So Tim, if you remembered back in tabletop Vampire Counts, these guys are close to Vampire Counts, but they're, imagine Vampire Counts mixed with pirates, and that's what you have here. They're very cool. And I think those 4 cannons, if they tear apart those Reichsguard, it's just going to be a big old slosh in the middle between spearmen, and the crabs may just come in there and do the decent amount of damage. Looks like we're having a tiny bit of lag, but nothing too bad. Looks like it should stabilize. And we're good to go. So the spearmen are advancing, as well with their crossbowmen. And of course there's no need here for the vampirates to charge at all, as they do have the range advantage. 4 cannons coming shooting in, and they're just going to be tearing into these Reichsguard, who quick there to divert, going to be trying to get behind this hill, which would be a fantastic play. Let's see, over in the distance, it looks like these Scurvy Dogs did spot these Zintlers Reichsguard, and they're moving away as quick as possible, as they will get crumped. Mass cav charge up the flank here with the wizard, trying to use these trees. I love this play so far. I mean, he's going to take damage, he has to accept that, but trying to minimize it on the units where he can is good play. It looks like these Scurvy Dogs are going to be caught here. So an early charge coming in from the Reichsguard, and if these Scurvy Dogs aren't careful, they're going to get absolutely torn apart here. Like little teeth aren't going to do anything against such armor, and they're just going to rout straight off the board edge right here. Oh, they're managing to pull back, but there's a huge amount of free damage done there. Looks like the captain has taken a couple of cannon shots to the face, which is a bit unfortunate for him. He's raising his shield, but that's not going to do too much good. His Empire Knights are standing in the open now. They need to get moving. They do not want to take those nasty shots. They are going to struggle to find a home. There's so many polearms around here, which of course are anti-large, but you can smash in there quickly and then turn around and retreat. A little bit of lag. Come on, please subside. We haven't had any problems so far. And the first game between these two was fine as well, so should settle itself out here, hopefully. Reichsguard, though, doing a nice slow motion charge, and oh, Jesus, taking a cannon to the face, and with that, they are piecing out. They are running out of here. I do not blame them at all. We have the crossbowmen online, taking down those carronades, which is a great choice. Spearmen are pushing forwards. The Reichsguard on the hill managed to almost take a carronade offline, and those Scurvy Dogs, but in return have been battered, and I don't know if it's worth it, but it has allowed these spearmen to get up unhindered. the crossbowmen are all firing in now on these cannons, dragging them down. We do have a rotten Promethean summon here, as these crabs have been brought into the field to smash on Seeking the Sun. So they are unbreakable though, so they're going to hold this blob up quite nicely. Spearmen have things up in position. Cannonades are slowly being picked off by crossbowmen. I'm liking the crossbowman pick so far, and his backline is completely unharassed. Those cav coming around the flanks really managed to shut down those scurvy dogs, but just as I say that, up the left flank, 2 more units are going round. They're really trying to dodge these spearmen. Big tidal wave coming in there and doing a decent amount of damage. Going to be trying to sneak in past these spearmen who are guarding this back line very well. Empire Captain is nearly dead. He needs to get moving. He cannot stand still. Those cannons will tear him apart. However, cannons themselves are being dragged down. There's this one carried here which is still functioning. This one here who's also still functioning just about. But it looks like 2 of them have been taken offline. And we do have the Reichsguard charging in on a perfect target from here. Nice cheap chaff who don't have anti-large pole arms. They should be able to drag them down and help these spearmen. Looks like we have another summon coming in by the Dive herself, who's taking a ton of shots from the silver bullets. She needs to be super careful. She summons some more Rotten Prometheans. If they fight their way back here and hop on top of the silver bullets, that is fantastic. But if they do not, those silver bullets will drag her down. I believe she can bring healing, but I don't think she has. And in the front, it looks like we do have the Damned Knights Errant have been summoned and charged directly in, but they have been countered. Spearmen are holding the line, and we do have the Zintler's Reichsguard. The Scurvy Dogs have popped in the back, trying to shut down these crossmen, which they needed to do, and we have very good play here, bringing these Scurvy Dogs on top of the silver bullets, which has saved, so far at least, Diafin, but she's still taking bullets. Death Wizard has popped in, and I believe he has been popping Spirit Leeches as well on her. This is a close game. Looks like the left flank was secured by the Vampires here, so we do have this one carronade, which is very healthy. But in return, the leader's taking a ton of damage. A Spirit Leech is coming down. I don't know, there's a lot of undead on this flank, though, slowly pushing through. It's been a good fight by Consul of Rome so far. Nice comeback from the first game, but it's going to be tough. The power balance is slightly in the favour of the Vampires right now. And the Wizard is charging in. These Empire Knights have been cycling charging all game again. They're doing a decent amount of damage, but a cannon shot does come flying over, and that cannon still is online. Oh, she's so close to going down. 600 health, 585 health. She is starting to crumble. If she comes down, there is a chance. He does have a lot of cycle charging from the Knights. Where is that Captain? I assume he died. We do have the Wizard for leadership. And let's see. In the back, we do have some brave Empire, or Reichsguard, sorry, who have rallied. Could turn around and do a decent damage. She has managed to just about... No, she's still crumbling at the moment. If she takes any more damage, she's definitely going to go down. Silver Bullets, MVP so far. They're dragging down the Lamprey's Revenge with their mass shooting. They managed to pretty much single-handedly bring down the Diafin. They're doing such a good job and have really paid for themselves. Looks like Lamprey's Revenge has gone down now, and the power balance is swinging in favour of the Empire and Consul of Rome. So, these very healthy Zintler's Reichsguard are charging in, doing a decent amount of damage. They don't want to hang around though. And the Diafin has gone down. The giant crab has been defeated. It looks like she crumbled from her leadership penalties. And down goes the crab. And with that, power balance is fairly heavily in the Empire's favour. They still have a lot of zombies to deal with, however. I'll be so happy if this goes to a 3-game series, because then every game so far has gone all the way, which is always good to see. We get more games. Crossbowmen firing in have done a fantastic amount of damage so far. However, these polearms are getting into the back line, and there's not much Empire left to stop them. They mainly just have ranged units. This game is by no means over. We do have some rallying spearmen on the flank, and every little helps. We do have some spearmen who are going to be shutting down this cannonade. That is vital, as those guns are still doing a huge amount of damage, and the backline has been completely lost now by the Empire. These crossbowmen having to fight zombies in combat, which is not where they want to be. This could be a little bit disastrous. The Wizard has also somehow been forced off to rout, probably not starting combat, but should rally before the end. There we go. I would just pop him on top of that cannon now and take it down. Spearman slowly cleaning up this one. That unit on the left side has been activated again, so very good micro there. Crossbowmen are falling back, which is fine because he is still engaging on multiple fronts. And the Spearmen advancing here. This is going to be a struggle though. He still has a few units of Spearmen rallying. Needs to get those horses in there, and the poor leadership of the undead may come into play here. Especially when he's managing to clear up big expensive units like this. Power balance just goes more and more in the favour of the Empire. They can drag them down. Now get that Wizard out of there. No need to keep him in combat against these guys. Pull him out. Get any cav you have. He's got some cav here. Pull them over. Take out the cannonade that way. Spearmen are slowly moving over, and the archers are back in line with the silver bullets. And they should easily be able to tear apart these guys who are going to break and crumble quite quickly. Yeah, as soon as they come under any threat, they've lost their leader, they're losing the battle, they're going to crumble and disappear super fast. Silver Bullets up to 41 kills and have taken a few crab shells home with them today. And it looks like the series is going to be 1-1. I really like his build overall. The crossbowman did such a decent job. You don't need too much in the front line. I was worried he was going to have enough to do with the crabs, but those silver bullets just absolutely tanked this entire battle. We do have the Zintler's Reichsguard up here on the flank as well. 62 kills, decent amount, have rallied. They're going to be coming in, trying to just do a bit of harass. In the back, though, as he got his wizard caught again. His wizards have been caught again, and this is really bad. He's the only leadership left for the Empire. You want to keep him alive as much as possible. However, silver bullets are going to be trying to avenge him by the looks of it, and he should be able to get out and hopefully rally. There's no need to get him, you know, broken. There's no need for this at all. Instead, you just keep him around, drop spells. I like getting on top of the cannon when there's no one nearby, but as soon as pole arms are here, just pull him out. No need to get in the fight. No need to risk him. Crossbowmen coming in, dragging down these zombies. They're going to be dying, although they did defeat off some spearmen. This one unit left over here is crumbling, and that is going to be game, I am pretty sure, but I've said this before and have been wrong. So the wizard has managed to rally. Okay, just pull him round now. Don't charge him into these pole arms. Yeah, he's just going to drag him round, hopefully. Now you can hop on top of that cannon while they're not there. Just ensure he doesn't get caught. Oh, yeah, no, he's all good. Now you can hop onto that cannon, which does explode. And that is going to be game. So 1-1, and we're going all the way. Very good play there by Consul of Rome. Bringing in the Empire, who are probably the most Roman faction you can bring. And there we have it. 1-1 series. Croissant, you're going to have to wait a little longer to see who you're up against. Yes, Optimus Pine. What's up, my dude? Good to see you, man. Yes, sorry, they crumble like vampire counts, yes. Man, that was a good game. That was good. 14 viewers now. Drop those likes, my friends. Have you guys listened? What a game by Consul of Rome. Drop the likes for him right there. That build, it worked really well. I'm very impressed. Going up against a tough Vampire Pirates build. Yes, thank you for all the likes, by the way. It really helps support the channel. Always good to chat to you guys as well. And we're growing. We're up to 70 subscribers now, I think, which is pretty damn awesome. Slowly pushing up to that 100. So let's move on to the next map, which I believe is going to be Ekerund. Yeah, those silver pillars put in work. They have to be the MVPs for me. Followed by those crossbowmen. Yep, GG's all round. Very good play. Super fun. And I will actually, while I think about it, change the scores to 1-1. So, just for those who have joined late, a quick heads up and reminder as well for those who have joined earlier. My computer's been having all kinds of problems and blue screening, which is very sad, saying memory management or something, and just cutting out completely randomly. So if it does happen throughout the stream, do not worry, the tournament will go on. The guys will save their replays, and I will cast the rest of the finals tomorrow. So if it does cut out, do not worry, just pop back tomorrow and the finals will be up. However, at the moment, we seem to be staying strong. If the computer stays on for about 30 minutes and it doesn't crash, it seems to survive, which is frustrating, but I'm going to try and get it sorted as soon as possible. 6 spears, that's rule break. Can someone quickly check that for me? I know Deimos, you're a very good player in competitive play and keeping on top of it. If you can get up the Warhammer Cup rules, we can have a quick check. So what we're going to do is, I wonder, thought it was a rule break. 6 spearmen? Basic spearmen? We'll have a double check. But either way, we're going to play the third game, and if it becomes a problem, then we can sort it out in the future. Consul, this is one of his first tournaments, so I don't want to bring up too many rule breaks. Thanks. I've just seen your message on Steam as well, Sly Sneaky Seal. I'll get back to you at the end, but thank you very much for the looks of it. I definitely will want the replay. That'd be great, man. Five is max. Okay, we'll have a little double check on that as well. I don't want to open up at the moment. Yeah, 5 is max. Ah, damn it. Okay, I will let them know. Oh, that sucks so bad. He did so good. And he didn't know either. I know he's not the type of guy who would cheat. But we're going to let them play the third game. But if console does win, I'm afraid we're going to have Pit Worship through. We may just give him a one and only warning, but I understand if Worship wants to kind of take this, he does have the right to, as there was a rules break. We play Warhammer Cup rules, but that's if both players agree, you can play the third one. Cool, it looks like Worship's going to play the third game, War Hero. Massive shout out to him there. I know that's not an honest mistake. Console of Rome doesn't play too many tournaments, I don't think. But other map, please. Ooh, we want a map switch. I will accept that request. So, we can mix up the map. I mean, he's letting him play again, so I don't mind there. What map should we go for? I know what map I want, and I can't remember the name of it. We can go Schwarzenstein, or Schwarzenfen, which I believe I did that time. Cool. That was definitely an innocent mistake, which is just unfortunate because he did so good. Yeah, we can do a replay, man. I'm just going to keep it going instead of doing the replay. We do follow the rules, but it's even worse. Oh, okay, we can change the map to a smaller map. Let's see what maps we have available. I'm happy for them to play any map, to be honest, but... let them guys sort it out. Yeah, we can do a replay. We're going to just carry on this one. It was an innocent mistake. I know it's worth checking the rules and stuff, but... Cool, so yeah, he had too many spinmen. That's fine, man. Yeah, that's right, dude. We understand. So he had too many spinmen. He had 8 units overall instead of just the basic 5 that you're allowed. He didn't know the rules, so I'm going to let it pass this one time. If there's an infraction in this build, then he is going to be disqualified. Worsha can take the 2-0 if he wants to. I'm happy to allow that to happen, or for them to do a replay. But just in the sake of kind of keeping it in time, and there's nothing on the line here, they are going to play the third game. So I understand the rules are normally a replay, but I think Worship's probably just assign his army right now. Alpine Ridge is no problem. Cool. Cool, I'll give him the option of doing the replay. Yeah, I mean, a Dishonour match is kind of cool. It's all in good fun. There's nothing really on the line here. I mean, there's a place in the final, but yeah. Your admin, it's your choice. Oh, I'm happy for you guys to do whatever, as long as it's all good. Cool. It wasn't one spearman, it was actually multiple. So we do this game. If Console Rome wins, we'll then have to do the replay again. So yeah, that's what we'll probably go for. Console's just in there. Yeah, so he gets refund that one unit, and then rules don't state disqualification penalty for one rule break, but it's your turn. Yeah, we're not going to just disqualify him. But I don't want to watch the exact same replay twice. So if they're happy to do the third one, and then if Worsha wins, then we'll replay. Oh, if Console Rome wins, we can then replay the second game. Because that way it's kind of the same, but we mixed up a little bit. Make sure Worsha's all good. I'm just going to message him on Discord quick. Cool, I'll be right back. Just going to sort this out on Discord. Cool, send him some messages, see what he says. Cool, looks like he's good to go. So as long as both players are happy with it, I mean, I'm happy to bend the rules in my own tournaments as long as it's entertaining for everyone and it's fair. That's the most important thing. So Console Rome still needs to win 2 games if he wants to go through. Cool, make sure they're not chatting in. Yeah, seems good, no problem. Cool, looks like that's what we're going to do. Cool, I'm going to get going. So we're going to keep it moving. If Console Rome wins this one, we're going to replay game 2. Yeah, I know, but I feel so sorry for Worsha. Because I know he had mass problems with disconnecting and stuff, I think, in the ECL yesterday. I haven't seen the whole thing, I've just seen the first game. So, if Console Rome does win this, we will replay the second matchup, with Console Rome having to replace those spearmen, and Worsha getting the opportunity to change his whole lineup. This map overall was going to be saved for the final. We can always replay it there. It's always a fun one to see people trying to claw for the top here. The winner of this does have to get past Croissant, of course. Before that, Croissant Torbert, who's a very good player we've seen in the first round, winning a 2-1 series. Map is pretty fun overall. Got mass trees on either side, so you can be super sneaky. And there's this big shot block, which makes the battles very interesting. You have to either fight up on top of it and try and claim the middle ground, which you see a lot of players try and do early on. Or you can sit back, and often if you have the range advantage, it's actually better to sit back and shoot them as they come over the top of the hills. So who is your money on? We have the High Elves over on this side, in charge of Consul of Rome, or in charge of, sorry, not. So he's gone for a mixture of Spearmen, White Lions, Phoenix Guard, even more Spearmen. It's gone pretty damn heavy. He seems to like his heavy infantry builds. So overall we have 3 units of Phoenix Guard mixed in with 3 units of Spearmen. Yes, 4 units overall there, and a couple of White Lions. In the back, he does have Silver Helms with shields and Illyrian Reavers with a nice skirmish unit, some archers with light armour and Lothran Seaguard. In the very back, we have Alariel the Radiant up on top of her mighty pony here. Now, she has bought Shield of Thorns by the looks of it, Earthblood, and she's got the Boon of Isha, which is very nice. So, quite tightly compact army there, going for that anti-large. However, Phoenix Guard do generally struggle against Mammoths, because Mammoths can just walk all over them. Now we have a little look at Worshipp's build. In the front line, he has gone rather cheap and cheerful with Marauders, although it looks like some of them have been chevroned up, and he does have the Regiment Renowned version as well. So that along the front line. In the back, he has Regiment Renowned Berserkers, Standard Berserkers, so 3 units of those overall, and the Miststalkers and Famir Warriors, which do a decent job. However, they will get crumped pretty bad by Phoenix Guard. We also have Wulfric the Wanderer on top of his mighty Mammoth. Now over on the left-hand side, we have some Norscan Ice Wolves, which are going to be good for backline harass, and the same on the other side with the Beasts of Tashnar, who are anti-large themselves. Now, please say he brought a Spellslinger. Yes, he did. Well, a Spellslinger, sorry, a Wizard. He's brought a Famir Balefiend of Shadows, and he has the Pendulum, which is very good against High Elves, and Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma. So overall, pretty cool. I don't know who to back on this one. In a way, I'm kind of hoping that Worship wins, so we don't have to go through the replay, but at the same time, we get more games, and what could be better than that? So let's get this cracking. Looks like Worship's ready. Just going to wait on console. I'll quickly check chat. Kick out and stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know there's a lot of problems yesterday with ECL, which I still have to watch, so I'm looking forward. So no spoilers, please, for the second game. I quite like El Halcón as a player as well, so I believe he's in the second quarterfinal, so I'm excited to give that a little watch. So Hounds are going to be trying to chase down these Illyrian Reavers. If they catch them, they do a ton of damage, but they are having to pull back. And he is falling back behind the hill here, so give him a little bit of protection, not too much harm done. And he's going to be pushing up on top of the hill, whereas the High Elves going to be sitting back and chilling. They're attacking with their ranged units of Illyrian Reavers here, firing some shots over. Silver Helms hiding in the trees as well, ready to pounce, although they do not want to pick a fight with Beasts of Tashnar. They are anti-large. A lot of people fall for it, thinking, some little hounds, charge your big old Cav and your Cav get eaten. So is there any extra sneakiness going on? Yes, we have the Norscan Ice Wolves here coming for a long flank, trying to get into that back line and shut down those archers. And Lothran Seaguard, but there's not too much pressure. It's mainly going to be a bit of a monster mash in the middle now. If you can keep these Famir away from the Phoenix Guard, I think Norsca can be in a good position here with those Berserkers. But that's going to be tough. Phoenix Guard are a tough nut to crack. And the front line has engaged. A downhill charge here as well by the Marauders on top of these Spearmen. They should munch them up fairly comfortably, but Phoenix Guard are probably going to move forward and assist. We have Marauder Berserkers and Famir charging down this side, and they are going to crump fairly easily on this Spearman, but a lot of bowfire coming in, doing a decent amount of damage. Now, Wulfric does go charging into these Phoenix Guard, which isn't a bad shout. Knock them over, then keep moving. Do not stay in this engagement. You should be fine. Looks like the Phoenix Guard are getting a little bit 2 for 1 here. Brutes of the Hound are running as well. And a big pendulum coming down, doing mass damage to those Spearmen, really helping this Norscan front line kind of run them over. Marauders are getting in the back, Ice Hounds getting in the back, and this could be trouble early days for the High Elves. They do drop a Star of Avalon to keep these Phoenix Guard in it, but they could be doomed. I think they're doomed here, that Phoenix Guard. I think you have to try and use that in other areas, and I don't think there's any rescuing them, to be honest, so I wouldn't have wasted that over there. But still, if they carry on fighting, they could do a decent amount of damage up against Wulfric. But now it looks like they might start to break. They've pulled out. They are slightly terrified right now, but I'm sure they'll be coming back. The backline has been completely swarmed here. We have Norse and Ice Wolves and Marauders hopping onto this back unit, dragging them down. And a lot of the elves are in retreat. Those Spearmen, who had a fantastic pendulum on them, are running for the hills. However, over here, much better. Phoenix Guard are fighting the Miststalkers, which is where they want to be. Miststalkers do a ton of damage back. However, anti-large Phoenix Guard holding their ground, getting healed by Earthbloods, should be able to do a ton of damage, especially with rear charge coming in from those silver helms. But another nasty pendulum coming down, and boom, you see the damage that does. Those pendulums have been really key. 34 kills on the Familiar Balefiend so far. Wulfric is rampaging through the back line, doing a decent damage, shutting down these archers, and these Illyrian Reaver archers aren't too long for the world if these Northern Ice Wolves do turn and engage. Now we still have a few pockets of strength. Phoenix Guard are fighting strong on all fronts, holding up here against Marauder Berserkers, not the ideal foe, but they're doing pretty decent. They've been swamped by Marauders over here, but holding strong, and the one unit that was originally here is now running for the hills as Wulfric, a very healthy Wulfric, comes running over, and he's just terrifying fools left, right and centre. Looks like we are going to have a boat coming down as well. Just going through those white lines. He's been on point at the moment with his spell and ability casting. We do have Silver Helms coming in to try and rescue Alari, who has been surrounded here by Miststalkers, which is not where she wants to be at all. Another very healthy unit of Thamir over here are crushing these spearmen. Wulfric is rampaging. So High Elves, though, they are bringing back some of their forces. They're still in with a shout, although the power balance is going against them. These Phoenix Guard need the help of these archers to overcome these Marauder Berserkers. This is still a very healthy unit here, but it is surrounded by Marauders, not where it wants to be. But there is a lot of rallying troops here, so Consul may be able to bring it back. We've seen him bring it back before. He might be able to do it again. So we do have Alariel just retreating as well. Looks like she's been doing a little bit of healing, pulling out of that nice engagement. But everywhere you look, Elves are running for the hills. The pointy ears are fleeing. These Lothran Sea Guard will be able to fight the Northern Ice Wolves, but it's not an engagement they want. As you can see, they're being sent flying, and their leadership could start to waver and break. Phoenix Guard over here have finally been broken. These Marauder Berserkers really paying for themselves. 109 kills is pretty damn crazy. So Marauders over here surrounded Phoenix Guard, keeping them tied up, and there's just nothing left. I don't think that can stop Wulfric. He's going to rampage around. Alariel's desperately trying to get in there, fight the big monster himself, but there's not too much she can do here. Does drop a star though, getting the healing, charging with the Illyrian Reavers, last desperate gambit, get those Phoenix Guard in there, try and drag down Wulfric and this big nasty death blob, but even with the healing we can see Spearmen have broken, and across the rest of the battlefield these Lothran Sea Guard are going to be torn up by these Icehorn Marauders, and the rest of the Phoenix Guard are just getting dragged down. I think this could be the end for Consul, but he is fighting to the last, which I always like to see for my opponents. No giving up at all. Wulfric, a very good play here, comes over to these rallying units, crushes into them, terrorizes them, forces them off the field, and with the board edge right there, those guys are not going to be coming back. So I think it is currently Alariel against the world by the looks of it. There's a few pockets of strength, and in fact these Phoenix Guard did rally. They've come back into the fray, helped these spearmen out, and they've scared off these Marauder Berserkers. It's a nice victory for them. However, Alariel, she does a decent amount of damage in combat. She's probably going to try and pull out and rally with her troops, trying to form a bit more of a last stand. These Phoenix Guard have been dragged off, and these white lines are being chased as well. Bit of rallying going over on the flanks here, but these guys are pretty scared. If anything nasty heads this way, they will probably flee. But we do have some lightly armoured archers, up to 12 kills, firing in. And these Illyrian Reave archers, up to 23 kills, which is a decent return. They're currently shooting in on the Familiar Balefiend, which he's not going to mind too much. So these guys are chasing off, it looks like a shattered unit, so they need to be brought back into the fray. However, see units all across the board. We do have some Marauders here shattering. Archers are still on point. They're running over here. Alara has popped in, trying to save these Phoenix Guard. I love this play by Consul, scrapping to the end, never giving up in the face of these kind of nasty big creatures. Get in here, trying to rescue his Phoenix Guard, doing mass damage to these Marauders. What a champion he is. He's managed to win this fight over here, so I drag these guys over here, make a nice little last stand. But army losses are hitting in pretty heavily now, and as Wulfric comes in, it looks like that is going to be game. So GG to both players. Well done on Consul of Rome. 2 great games, and dragging him to a 2-1 series. Very impressed as well with his Empire build. So good game overall there. Let's go to the end. GG's, well played. Cool, so World is going to stay in here when Consul leaves. Cross on. It is your time to hop in and play, my friend. Let's have a little look at chat. ECL was amazing. Nice. I haven't seen it yet. Gotta love Let's Moon. Just gotta love him. I like what El Halcón did a lot. Sweet. I'm excited to look that up. El Halcón really impressed me in the qualifiers. So I'm excited to see that. And Let's Moon, I've played him on his live stream actually. I gave him a fairly close game with my Mighty Dowie. Super nice guy. Honestly, like a super chill guy. I spoke to him afterwards on his stream. Really nice, really friendly guy. Some great play. So overall, great play by these two as well. Thanks for inviting me. So no worries, man. Sweet. So I will get the maps up. Up first, we are going to be playing on River and Maxon, which is a cool map I quite like overall. It's one of the Lizardman built maps that you can actually do in a tournament, I feel. So these guys are either going to pick and ban or Gentleman's Agreement. I am cool with either, as long as they're both happy. I really don't mind too much. Is there any matchups you guys want to see in particular? Cool, looks like they've actually faced each other before. Yep, GG's all round. Great play by both of those players there. And I will change the scorecards, which I think I've been forgetting to change, but that's fine. So Worship is back down to 0. And we will we'll just call him Croissant. Cool, and into the final. So I'm glad that all got resolved, luckily. Both players there being huge sports as well. Which, of course, wants Norska. He's played very good with them so far. I'm not sure who he mains, but I'm assuming it may well be Norska. So yes, we're going to finals now. I can see we have 14 people watching. Welcome, welcome. There's a little thumb underneath the video right now. If you press it, you get a magical feeling inside. It's like a warm and fuzzy feeling, which brings joy to fairies and angels and other, puppies and stuff. Fluffy stuff enjoys it. So hit that button, hit that little subscribe button as well, to make my soul lift and enjoy the content. Hope you guys are all doing good. It's nice to see so many people and quite a few of the competitive players coming as well. We are going to be doing a novice tournament fairly soon, and I am going to be looking for one or two kind of more of the pro players to maybe give a little bit of free coaching to some of the novice players as they enter into a tournament. It's just going to be a small little kind of flash tournament affair, but I'll get to that at a later date and have a word with a few people. Cool, let them guys get going. Croissant, of course, is a man of the people, having played in previous tournaments, and always likes to bring some fun builds, which is always nice to see. So let's have a little look at what they're saying. I'm willing to sacrifice. He's going to be going Bretonia, I think. Bretonia are not known for being particularly strong in the meta at the moment. They have just a ton of counters against them. When I press the thumbs that point downwards, then angels and fairies feel happy. No, they die, and puppies die, like across the world. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, if you press that down button, man, so much bad happens. Brett versus Norska, that could be fun. That could be good fun. Big monsters against, knights in shining armor, filthy peasants. I love it. Cool. So let's get this cracking. Britannia is OP in my head. Man, I'm sure if anyone can make Britannia OP, it'd be you. Who is it? Is it Dimmy G? Or Wicked D, who mains Beastmen and somehow makes them, really good? I mean, Beastmen are underrated in my opinion. I think they are very good. I would like their roster to be fleshed out a bit. Maybe... I don't know who to put them in a DLC with. I think Wood Elves need a new Legendary Lord. I really like the Sisters of Twilight. There's kind of... there's two sisters. I think mainly they go on a dragon, but they can go on an eagle. One of them fires like a moon bow, the other a sun bow or something along those lines. I believe one's like a slow, and the other was like a burning effect on tabletop. I can't remember, I never actually used to play them. I used to play Lizardmen myself, had big nasty Carnosaurs running around the place, which is always good to see. It's quite funny. I went to one of the grand tournaments when I was like 14 or something. I wasn't particularly good, but we wanted to go with my friends anyway. Okay, looks like they're ready. And I think there was like 11 or 12 Lizardmen players overall, and only I had bought a Saurus Soul Blood on a Carnosaur. Every other player had bought a Slan Mage Priest, because I think they were very good. Very, very good overall. But, you know, a big dinosaur riding an even bigger dinosaur, tearing people up. It's just so much better. So much better. Only thing that can top that is a dwarf with a mighty glorious beard. Cool. So when Croissant is ready, we'll get going. He's obviously taking his time. The final is on the line. And let me know what map you want to see next, because it was going to be Alpine Ridge, but we've just played that, so we're going to mix it up. So just drop a message if you want to see a particular map, and not a coffee cup map. I've learned my ways that a coffee cup map is horrifying to play on. I was very unprepared. Cool. Looks like they're good to go. And let's get this first game cracking. Wersha going by the true and tested Norska, and Croissant's taking out the Bretonians. Tim with the mems. Wood elves alive, wood elves alive, live for the kite. Mate, I love wood elves, honestly. I like the wood elves. However, I go for... I'm going to call it the Falcon build, because it's fairly inspired by his style of play. I go like 4 Wild Riders, a mass amount of Dryads, Orion, you Vanguard everything, and then you blow the horn of the Wild Hunts to get like 55 bonus charge or something. You crash into the front line with the Dryads and a huge amount of damage, and the Wild Riders, and a couple of them on the flank. You get in the War Dancers with Azrai Spears, the Regiment Renowned version in there as well, Spell Singer of Life, and you'll be fine, mate. You're fine. Cool, so we are loading in. Got some temples in the distance here. I'm liking the little head display of the mighty frog. Quite like the Lizardman lore, actually. It's pretty damn awesome. I haven't read the end time stuff, but not the... I want to be a fan of it. I don't want to be someone who kind of hates on that type of stuff. I'm not a big fan of people like looking at stuff with... You know, if you don't like something, just don't read it or don't watch it. But I've heard like they turn into spaceships and stuff, and it's my childhood, man. My childhood's changed. But yeah, overall, pretty cool map. We have this mass open plain you can fight on. Also, a ton of trees for sneakiness. And a bit of a hill up here. You can place some artillery up here. A lot of people like to tend to take skirmishers around this side as well. So let's see the matchup. So we'll start with Croissant's army first, who of course is going with the Fey Enchantress. A very good pick overall. Haven't seen her as much recently, but she's a very competitive pick if I can find her. And she's going to be assisted by 2 Paladins, who are a very good choice overall, especially if the healings combine with her. Yes! Yes! We have the peasant mobs! Okay, we have... To be honest, this unit here is going to win him the game. We have the mighty and filthy peasant mobs in the front line. Just behind them, we do have spearmen, more spearmen, and men-at-arms with polearms. They're going to do a decent job of holding, especially if there is this right here, a Grail Reliquary with them. Reliquary, whatever it's called, which doesn't look like it would inspire courage, but it does a heavy amount, and those guys are going to stay and fight to the last. In the back, he has peasant bowmen with fire arrows, one with pox arrows, and one standard, going for a little bit of a mix. Defenders of, well, the regiment around Knights Errant, I'm not going to attempt to say that name. Shock Cav, anti-infantry, they also have Frenzy, which is quite interesting. Very cool pick overall. Up in the sky, we have Royal Hippogriff Knights, very hard hitting. Once they had some changes done quite a while ago to their movement, they've actually improved quite a bit. So overall, gone for a bit of an infantry mash, especially with those peasants, and some big hard hitters. Looks like... Cool, they're all saying good luck and all that kind of good stuff. Ooh, hopefully no lag. No, it looks like we're all good. So in the front line, we do have Marauders for the Norskans all along the front line. Do we have, including the Ice Horn Marauders. In the back, we have some Spearmen. We have Norskan Ice Wolves on the flank. Mist Stalkers in the back, which we saw him use very successfully last time. 2 Berserkers in the back, including the Brutes of the Hound. More Spearmen, so fairly similar build to before. More Norskan Warhounds who are chevroned up, double silver. Famir Warriors and Wolfric on his big old mammoth. So a fairly similar build that we saw last time, and it worked for him then. Should work for him again. Famir Battlefield of Shadows. Again, coming with Melkov's Mystify and Miasma and the Pendulum. So let's get this cracking. And this should be a good game. Who's your money on? Worsha is the more experienced tournament player, but as we've seen, Croissant, even on the back foot, he can pack a punch. And we've seen this across 2 tournaments now, so I'm sure he's very happy to have got to the finals and to face, off against Worsha. I'm sure Worsha's also very happy, of course, with that scare with Consul of Rome, who played very well himself, I must admit. That second game was played fantastically. I know there's a little problem with the spears, but overall, that was a super good game. So, the Norskins are going to be advancing here, and so are the mighty peasant mobs. There are in fact 2 of these in the front. I just love these guys. They're just what I would end up being. Like, if I was in the Warhammer universe, I would wish I was like a temple guard or something really badass. Knowing my luck, I'd end up being a peasant mob and being charged into marauders. But they're here, they're going to soak up the charge, just so the spearmen don't have to, and then the spearmen can integrate in with them. Very excited to see how these Royal Hippogriff Knights do. Hopefully they'll be able to charge in and do a decent amount of damage. Got to be a little bit careful, however, there is some anti-large on the field, but not too much. So in the front line, peasants go heroically charging in. They are up to 0 kills. I thought they were on 8 then, but unfortunately that was the Marauders. And the Marauders are going to set to butcher's work there, tearing them apart. However, a lovely frontal charge coming in against the Berserkers. Fantastic charge by the Cav, who are pushing all the way through the Brutes of the Hounds, and will then be able to loop back and get a rear charge. Unfortunately, though, some of them have been kind of packed in. These Marauders are holding the line, shield walling it, Ragnar Lothbrok style, which has allowed Wulfric to come in and just crush the defenders. They've just been annihilated there. Oh, that was insane, coming through and just annihilating them. That was a really nice early play with them, but getting them caught was disastrous. A big pendulum coming in down this front line, and that is going to do a huge amount of damage here. A massive setback instantly for the Bretonnians, as their peasants in the front line are all fleeing across the board. Even with their Grower Reliquary here, if his magical aura isn't keeping them in, he needs to push up a little bit. Paladins are now rushing back to the main fight to try and rescue this front line engagement. Archers, however, are setting loose, and they will do a decent work on the Berserkers. Marauders, they'll still tear them down, but they do have shields, they're roaring, they're charging, they're going to do a decent amount of job, and these peasants hopefully should rally. Hippogriff Knights were roaming in the background, however, it does look they do have the Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma dropped on them, but I think they also briefly had an Earthblood keeping them a little bit more healthy. They're going to be doing a rear charge into these Icehorn Marauders, trying to do enough damage there to break them. It's a good shout overall. Try and get the points where you can. However, Wulfric is just making mincemeat of these Paladins, who are a good answer to him, but not when he's surrounded by this many bodyguards. In the trees, we do have some rallying peasant mobs. They're peeking out of their little woodland hiding place right now. Another pendulum come down, and Worsha has been so on point with his pendulums in both the games, and they've just done a huge amount of damage here, helping win this frontline engagement. However, the Bretonnians are rallying to the king, or the what's her name? The Enchantress in this case. We do also have the Beast Slayers of Bastogne here, the Regiment around Foot Squires, putting up a decent job here, making these Marauders Berserkers going to rampage as well. As the Great Reliquary is keeping those guys fighting in that centre pocket. Hippogriff Knights are still a massive part of this army. It looks pretty bad, but it's not over yet. They can do a decent amount of work. If they can methodically work their way along, picking off these hounds, picking off these spearmen, just jumping along, leave the nasty blob close to the end and make it a bit more of an even fight, could really go in his favour. The defenders have returned, which is very impressive by them, getting a nice rear charges from Marauders, helping break them, but it looks like there are the big nasty blob that Worsha has managed to form is rushing over here and is going to pit him. It's an absolute nightmare for these guys. They must see Wulfric and just cry after what he did to them before. There must have been some other units doing some stuff. I can't believe he wrecked them that quickly. But it is looking a little bleak for the Bretonnians now. They have a Bastion of Strength over here, so they're trying to force off these Marauders and Spearmen. If they do so, they may be able to rally a little bit, rally these archers and rally these men-at-arms. However, they are being chased by Marauders. Worsha's just so good at the moment at chasing down these troops. However, we have a full healthy unit of Royal Hippogriff Knights who can do a decent amount of damage. They're charging into this main fray here, and they'll do a ton of damage on the charge, but there's Spearmen in here who are slowly poking them down. Familiar Warriors, of course, a very good unit as well. Cycle Charge came in, they did some damage, but they're now being hit down by a Melkoff's Mystifying Miasma. It looks like they managed to get back up in the air. Yeah, they managed to get back up in the air, but still, that is still damage taken. The Great Reliquary has rallied over here, a little bit away from the fight, and needs to go over here to his little pocket of strength. And we do have some rallying troops on the end. Can these men-at-arms Pullman save these archers? I don't think so. They're trying their best. They're managing to take down a few Marauders with them. They are up to 9 kills overall, but looks like they're going to be forced off and routed off the field. However, he has managed to break these Marauders cross-on, and there's smaller Spearmen coming in. It's going to be a bit of a chaff-on-chaff violence. Now, where is the Fey Enchantress? She is over here. And she's going to be getting in here doing a decent amount of work. I believe she does have an Aura of Effect debuff. I'll be affecting all of these guys right now and slowly draining them. And he has built a pretty good surround, but there's just too many elite units in here. I can't see what he can do left. Power Bounce is slipping away. He can try and pick off units on the side, which he's trying to do with these paladins, trying to rescue these archers. Archers would be fantastic now, just firing in from all angles. But I think it's going to be a little bit too late, and I fear here, at least for Croissant's sake, that Worship is going to take this 1-0 so far. Now we've got some brave men-at-arms have raid on the side, and these archers are fighting longer. It looks like these marauders have been forgotten about, and they're getting absolutely pinged directly in the face here. They're raising their shields. And they're in fact going to leave the peasant archers and get shot in the back. Oh no, there they go. Charging around, and let's see, yeah, they're going to get a huge amount of kin here. Vikings just raiding the poor peasants' land. And it looks like army losses is setting in, or at least starting to. It's super close. When it gets to about here, where my cursor is now, is when your army tends to break as a whole. However, we still do have a very healthy paladin running around with the Fey Enchantress, but it looks like the Norscans have moved into the forest now, where the cav isn't going to be so useful against them. Then again, Wulfric won't be quite so tough either. Large foes, of course, do take penalties fighting in forests. There's a few exceptions, like tree men and stuff for the wood elves, because of course they're used to fighting in forests. So we do have some peasant bowmen with fire arrows online. Just make sure they have no questions. Okay, Worship thinks it's GG. I mean, it's going to be tough here for him to pull anything out. He just can't do anything to this blob. There's nothing really left to pick off. I mean, there's some spearmen and hounds, but that's not going to affect the battle enough, I don't think. But fighting to the end, Croissant, as always, a man of the people. For some reason, I'm still getting the message, but okay. Man of the people fighting to death, which is what I always like to see. I don't like people leaving early. I like him to make a good old scrap of it. And you'll be surprised the amount of time people manage to bring stuff back. We had some great games last time with... I believe it's Ben the Barman up against Dimmy G, where he looked down and out and he managed to bring it back fantastically. But I don't know if that's going to happen here. A great two punch there. The pendulum coming down with the boat as well, tearing these guys up. Hippogriff Knights on their last legs. These archers being chased off the field, and there's just not much left he can do. He has the last bastion of strength, a healthy paladin, a fairly healthy paladin here who could put a hurt on Wulfric, but there's no way they're going to be able to isolate him from this main blob, which is advancing. So it looks like we are getting ready for the final showdown on the fields of battle here. We do have a few units returning for the Bretonnians, but there's also some hounds lurking in the back who are just going to chase off units, I'm sure, and stop anyone coming back. But let's see. So Paladin's going around for a little bit of a flank. He is attacking, I believe, with these men at arms, or at least he will be in a second regardless if he wants to, as Wulfric does come crashing in, and he should be able to scare those guys off quite badly. And also the Mistlords do come charging. Those men at arms are not going to last long. Have a nice play by Croissant here. He's trying to avoid this main blob and pick off these units that are struggling at the back a little bit. Coming in with his little hero squad here, trying to do some decent damage and break these guys off. He's trying everything he can to fight to the death, which is just always good to see. These Hippogriff Knights, knowing they're fairly beaten up, are just going to chase off scrappy units where they can, try and bring that power bounce slightly back to the middle a bit more. But now these guys are completely surrounded. They're trying to get away. Looks like Fey Enchantress has taken quite a large amount of damage. She does not want to face Wulfric, I'm assuming has... No, he doesn't. He doesn't have his... I want to say Headhunter. The massive debuff you give to Heroes of Lords, as of course he is the Ever-Chosen. But I don't think he's going to need it here. The Fey Enchantress looks pretty screwed. She might be able to drag herself out of this. She's very bloody now, but she's been picked on by all these nasty monsters. And she's holding strong somehow, though. I don't know how she hasn't quite broken yet. But she has managed to get away. They're trying to get to the forest where Wulfric won't be as useful. But in the same way, they won't be as useful either. And I fear that she is going to go down here. In the background, the hounds have been routed off by the Royal Hippogriffs. However, it looks like army losses has set in, and that is good. GG. So it is 1-0 to Worship. So very well played to both of them there. Yeah, end times never have a man. I agree. No, end times didn't exist. Peasants 1 kill each. Okay, tempted to give the win to Croissant just for that, but you know, that might be a bit harsh. Croissant seems... I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, seems like we're all good. So we're going to be going to the third map that we were going to be doing before. Just kelp and coal dust. If we need to, we can always do Alpine Ridge as a finale if this goes all the way. Which I hope it does. I hope Crossfire manages to bring this back, and we get a good old series. Yeah, great game all round by both players. Let's have a look. Mr. Worsher, your army choice. Now you can finally take faction. Okay, there's be deciding their matchups, which is fine. We're just chilling. So thank you guys for tuning in so far. I will update the scores. Oh, so it is 1-0. Oh, Croissant has 2 Caesar. Oh, no, we'll just leave it at that for now. There we go. Cool, and we are up here. So this could be the final game, but if Croissant manages to bring it back, of course, we will be going to the final game. Cool, looks like Croissant is going to be taking one of his favourites, which is High Elves here. Let's see what Worship picks. How is the quality of the stream, guys? Well, please do let me know. I tried upping it to 1080p, like HD. I went all the way out, so I realised my OBS was running at like the lowest output, which is why the previous streams have been pretty like pixelated and stuff, but I've upped it all the way to the max. Hopefully my computer can take it. It seems to be doing just fine right now. Hopefully it's not laggy for you guys or anything, and hopefully it's at full quality. It seems to be on my phone, but phones lie, so we'll see. Can I Norska again? No. Worship really wants to play Norska, but I'm afraid that ain't happening, my friend. No, it is a best of 3. So after this, the winner of this event is going to be placed into a Royal Rumble final with all the champions from previous ones, which is Ben the Barman, who was our original champion, Zach Bisane and Felcon. And when that takes place, it's going to be 4 players, best of 3 semi-finals, best of 5 final, and there is a trophy to be won at the end of it, which is... I thought instead of doing like a tacky little trophy, because I'm going to have to pay for it myself, unfortunately, because I was going to try and do donations and stuff, and if anyone wanted to donate, or they wanted to put money in to make like a little prize pool, I'd put some of my own money in, so it's kind of like a thanks for playing. But I don't think I can do donations until I get 1,000 subscribers, I believe. Like, I can't do it on the chat system. So instead, I've just got a small trophy for them. But instead of, like, you know, a basic kind of tacky trophy, it is going to be a themed rubber duck. So it is, in fact, going to be like a little Roman rubber duck, harkening back to Rome Total War. And they're going to put that in their trophy cabinet. Everybody likes big, hairy fins. So it looks like it's going to be Beastmen up against High Elves, which is a cool matchup. So this is going to be best of 3. I've got to get going pretty soon. I wish I could, man. Don't worry, the next one will be best of 5. So the finals will be best of 5. I'm not sure when it's going to take place yet. I need to sort out my computer and obviously make sure that we have all 4 of those players available at the same day. So it may take a little while, maybe a couple of weeks away, but I'm trying to get it on a Wednesday, hopefully coming soon. I'm really excited about it. It should be good fun. And who doesn't want to win a rubber duck? I mean, come on. Like... who wants money when you can have glorious ducks? My friend Tim, actually, who's been hopping in and out in chat, sent me a mysterious parcel after I set up the YouTube channel with the name, and it's a bunch of mini rubber ducks. It's kind of cool. They're currently sitting on my speakers. You ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry, my dude. I'm sorry. Blame Tim. Blame Tim. Just that's what I say in any instant. Blame Tim. You guys been enjoying? Smack that thumbs up. Make a puppy happy. And hit that subscribe button. Before stream, I was on 70. I'm hoping I'm on like 71 or so now. Make it a 24-hour stream. Man, if my computer could take that, maybe I'll do that if I hit like the day I hit 1,000 subscribers. If that happens, you can hold me to this. hit 1,000 subscribers and I can do all that kind of stuff with it, I will do a 24-hour stream and I will call it the Aristodemos stream, and it will be great, and I will play you for 24 hours straight, get my ass kicked. It's gonna be fun. Cool, looks like Croissant is ready. Just waiting on Worship. And we'll get this going. So can Croissant do the comeback of all comebacks? He's played very well so far. Those first two early rounds were so close for both of them. Very good games. Looks like we're good to go. Let's get it cracking. I'm excited. This could be the final battle. Or could it be that it goes all the way, Croissant dragging his high elf spears through the dirt and claiming victory? I hope so. I hope it goes all the way. There's an interesting map as well to choose. It brings a little bit of a tactical awareness. There are some hills or ridges and lots of trees and all sorts of nastiness. If you quickly create 870 bots, I'll do it, man. Yeah, I only have 70 subs. I'm disappointed. I had 70 when I started, but I think a lot of people who are kind of used to tuning into my streams now are already subs, because I do bang on about it a little bit in the streams of like, hey, drop those likes and stuff. But you know, it needs to be done. I am a growing channel. And but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The Total War community is actually so good. It's so weird. I got a friend who plays competitive Call of Duty, and it's almost like a reversal. So ladder on Total War can be a bit hit and miss. Most of the time you meet nice people, but you get a lot of people quick lock in and bring in super sway builds and stuff. But competitively, it's run by the players, so everyone's kind of really tends to have to be nice, because otherwise, you know, you get blackballed from these type things. So everyone's very nice, very friendly, everyone plays very fair. There's a few rules set in place, whereas my friend, unfortunately, playing like a standard game of Call of Duty is kind of fine. You just meet random people, but competitively, it's very sweaty is the British word, I think, to describe it. I don't know how to translate that, but it's like, it's tough. It's very tough. People do like anything to win, basically. But let's get this cracking. Enough of that kind of rubbish. Oh, restart an update to stay in support. Hopefully that will disappear. Right, I just need to pick a time for my computer to restart, sorry. Cool. I'm going to pop back. Cool, we're back in. Thank God that didn't restart on its own. So, up in the skies for Croissant, we do have Alariel the Radiant on her pigeon. She is going to be bringing her Star of Avalon, Earthblood, and Fast Protection, going very defensive. For the main line, he does have 3 units of Spearmen, 1, 2, 3 white lines of Chase, which is a very nice pick overall. They do decent. He has Illyrian Reavers, 2 units of Dragon Princes, which I love in this matchup. Beastmen struggle to deal with heavy cav unless they can kite them. The Fireborn, which is the Regiment of Renowned version, super tanky, anti-large, very good pick. Up in there, he has a Star Dragon, which I believe served him very well in the first game. I like that pick quite a lot. And I think that's it. Quite a small, tight army, fairly cheap infantry, going heavy in the cav, heavy in the dragons, which is definitely what we like to see. Now let's have a little look at the Beastmen build. So he has gone for a front line of Ungor Spearmen, the Destroyers of Drakwood, which is the Regiment of Renowned version. Let's see what they bring in bonus. They have Primal Fury. They're expendable, which is nice of them to know. They have charge fence against large, poison attacks, and all kinds of good stuff. So front line of Ungors. Second line is Gore Herds. These guys could struggle overall, you know, just against Spearmen and so forth, but that's not where his punch is. He has Korok's Man Rippers, great anti-large. If these guys can get on top of those Dragon Princes or the Dragon, they're going to be in for a good time. We have the Butchers of Kalkengard. We've seen these guys earlier in the stream. They have Regeneration, Roar in there, in, you know, pent-up rage as they have, I'm sure. Very good unit, very tanky. We have a Razorgore Herd, which I like to see. I think it's an underpicked unit in general. Brave Shaman of Beasts, look like he's bringing the Manticore summon. A very nice pick of the Eye of Morsalibs. The regiment around Cygor is going to do a ton of nice work on these tightly packed formations of the High Elves, as long as he doesn't get harassed too much by the Dragon. And Morga the Shadowgave as well. Of course, very tanky, comes in with those summons as well. So let's get this underway. This is for the title, remember, so everything is on the line. High Elves are going to be advancing, and has the first rock been thrown? If it has, it looks like it was a bit of a miss. Here it comes another rock though, catching all the blood splatters there coming in on those Spearmen, getting dragged down rather nastily there. That is not a nice way to go. However, not too bad of a loss yet. So where are the sneaky Dragon Princes. We have Illyrian Reapers up in the trees. Dragon Princes are coming down the middle, it seems. Where are... Regiment Round ones are staying in the trees a little bit more hidden. So they are going to be pushing up here. It's going to be an interesting infantry fight. Spearman on Spearman is going to be a bit of a wet noodle competition. However, the White Lines should be able to cut through a bit easier. But we do have a lot of Razor Gore herds, too, in fact, who I've seen in recent events, when they crash into a front line, can do a ton of damage. So it looks like Dragon Princes are taking a bit of fire now, but they're moving through the trees, trying to dodge where they can. Another rock coming in. That thing is so accurate. It's brought down 5 models already. But the dragon is starting to fly in, and there's no range pressure coming in, well, apart from obviously the big rock, that can really pressure this put pressure on this dragon. And the boulders, of course, are not too accurate when it comes to hitting flying units who are moving fairly fast. So I'm assuming he's going to come in for a nice breath attack here. Yeah, coming in right here, doing what he did before on top of the Hell Cannon, getting a decent amount of damage, but nothing too crazy. I might prefer to see that actually along the line of this Regiment Renowned unit, or actually probably on top of the Koroks Man Rippers. Oh, Warp Gaze has come down on top of these Illyrian Reavers. Fantastic play, so that Ive Morslib does in fact have a snare ability, and these guys are doomed now. They were trying to get a cheeky rear attack on these Ungol Spearmen. Instead, they're being picked apart by the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Razor Gore herds who are charging in, and those guys are running for the hills right now. Over on this other flank, looks like the Dragon Princes have had an Earthblood, and they're going to come in for a crushing charge down this flank. Sending Ungol's flying, doing a decent job. Nice shock damage there. And it looks like the dragon has landed on top of that Brave Shaman of Death. He's going to be picking them apart. Brave Shaman has got Spirit Leech by the looks of it. And a big rock does go flying over, trying to hit those white lines, which is a decent target to pick on. So most of his army is still pushing up. We're having a little bit of early skirmish here. Illyrian Reavers have rallied. They can still be useful. I would keep them alive just to chase off units. This Beastman force, however, if it does get terrified by the dragon, is very close to the edge of the board, so it could run off very quickly. The front line is underway now. Spearmen are going up against Gore herds, and with the help of these white lines, they should cut through them fairly effectively. We have a nice charge coming here. White lines were repositioning, and they're just so close, and a few hits go in, and that should start the engagement. Spearmen holding the line here. And all the elves are running out of the forest like their Wood Elf King. The Dragon Princes have taken a huge amount of damage. They're up against the Koroks Man Rippers. The one opponent here they really don't want to fight is those guys, and that is unfortunately right where they are. They need to pull back quickly and get some heals on. We do have a Manticore summoning there, and I quite like this. So a lot of people probably think, what's the point of summoning the Manticore? It's going to lose to the dragon. However, it keeps him busy. Keeps him out of the way, does a decent amount of damage. It's a free summon. I mean, it costs Winds of Magic, but it's nothing too crazy. And it keeps it off your back and distracted for a while at least. Now the Butchers are coming, so they've all of a sudden turned this frontline engagement from a losing situation into a winning one. And we do have a Lara in here, popping down her heels as well, trying to stabilise this line. And over on the flank, it's going a little bit better for the white lines over here, and these Dragon Princes have taken a hammer in, going to be wrapping back round, trying to salvage this situation, but it is looking bleak. Power balance is now heavily in the Beastmen's favour and Worship, and this would be for the Titan who wins this. So come on, Crosslet Man. I'm hoping there's a little bit of a comeback on the cards, and it's still possible. He has a lot of units still alive, but Chaos Spawn are being summoned. This dragon needs to get in there and do some work. So he's gone toe-to-toe here with the Eye of Morslib, which isn't a bad shout. However, he's a bit of a beast in himself, and we have some piggies run into their horrifying monstrous creatures' aid. And these guys have decent armor piercing, so if they surround this guy, the help of Eye of Morslib, plus if this Manticore summon also comes over here, that could be one dead dragon. Illyrian Reavers did try and get in here to help, but they're being chased off by Ungol Spearmen. And it looks like Alaro is being pinned down, which he doesn't want to be, up against Chaos Spawn and his Butchers. They're taking a decent amount of damage. Looks like there's been some really good micro by Crosson, keeping these Dragon Princes going, even though they're quite battered. Looping back round, getting those charges in, but they are very beleaguered now indeed. So in the back, this dragon is getting a fat Earthblood, and he's fighting. He's doing a decent job. He hasn't lost too much damage. He's put a bit of a hurt now with Morslib. Alario is flying over as well, do a decent amount of damage, but the Manticore is in pursuit. The main fight is lost for the High Elves, so he's just trying to pick up wins where he can, which, if he manages to take off this Eye of Morslib, it might help the power balance a little bit and at least keep him in the fight, where he can then try and rally some troops. But mainly, it's just the dragon holding its ground. Alario is starting to waver a little bit. This Manticore is chasing, but he will disappear soon, as of course summoned units do. Alario does rally from being terrified, but Manticore comes crashing in. That dragon is picking up 33 kills. He's done a ton of damage. He's winning this fight even with all these Razor Gores here. Getting help from the hills. Alario's coming back in. This is his only hope, but I think I think it's a little too late. What Worsha seems to do, for the most part, is he plays quite aggressively and then bunches up a lot of his forces, and when you've kind of been smashed and pulled apart, it's so hard to then destroy a blob like this. So hard to unify your own forces in return. However, we have some Dragon Princes, of course, living up to their name, fighting to the bitter death here, up to 44 kills, which is decent. Coming in with a hammer in charge, one of them getting even extra overzealous, and sending Ungors flying, although that guy is getting back up. And they just instantly turn around and bounce, and it looks like they're going to be charging these butchers of Calcan Guards. Which is very brave, these brave knights charging against these horrifying monsters. However, they try and take one down, but he gets back up, and a couple of Dragon Princes die for their heroic efforts. Now over up on this side, the Dragon is doing a decent job. It looks like the piggies have started to rampage. This other unit is breaking, but no, the army losses are setting in. These guys definitely going to win this engagement over here, and then the Dragon could terrify a lot of these guys, but not with that regiment-renowned Bestival unit. I think that was GG, so very well played overall. GG to Croissant as well. Very well played, my friend. But Worsha, you are the champion. So congratulations. He has won this week's Death Before Dishonour. So I'm just going to speak to these guys quickly. Death Before Dishonour champion there. I'll spit her on, but that was well played overall by both players there. Fantastic. Massive well done to all the players here. Hey, up to 71. That's what I like to see, my dude. Up to 71. But yeah, great games played by both of them overall. Oh, cheers, Crossman, man. Just saying, keep up the good work. Thank you, I do appreciate it a lot. So, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been super fun. Well played to all our champions. Oh man, all cav build can work very well with those nasty Dragon Princes and so forth, but cool. So Worsha will be returning in the Royal Rumble finals of Death Before Dishonour up against Falcon, Zach Bisane, and Ben the Barman. Which will be awesome, honestly. It's going to be best of 3 until the final, which will be best of 5 with a prize and everything. So I'll be sure to get those guys back. Hi, Worsha man. Congratulations, dude. Very well played. Nice couple of games there. Cool. And that is going to wrap it up overall. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Peace out. Peace, Tim. Peace, all of you guys. I'm going to leave this open just a little bit, just so anyone can finish any conversations they are having, update the scores, and then that is going to be it. So, Worsha there took it. 2-0 final. It was very well played. I believe both the first two were 2-1s. So, overall, I like to see a nice close series, and I think that was overall. So, all good to go. Don't know who Deez is, but I don't think we're going to win. Who knows who you are, my friend. So guys, thanks for tuning in finally. Rambling at the end here a little bit, but you guys have been great. Peace out. I will see you next time.